Test 1 2. Everyone, to the City of Pembroke Pines City Commission meeting of August 19th, 2026. So yesterday was Election Day, and I know many of you had the opportunity to go out and vote. It was kind of a low turnout. Vice Mayor, I'm not quite sure why, but
because it's not November.
Okay, and but the votes were tallied and people won, and some didn't succeed. But we want to thank them all, those who won and those who ran, for caring about our community enough to put their hat in the ring and to offer their services to a great community. And so I want to thank all of you for voting. For those of you that didn't get to vote, please set your calendars for the next elections. I'm not a good example at great many things, but I can tell you, and this is the truth, I've voted in every election since I was aged 18. Never missed one.
Is that 200 years?
No, not quite 200. But it's been a while. And it's important. If you don't vote, somebody else's vote counts for double. And if that person doesn't vote, whoever shows up counts for triple. And I'm the kind of guy that likes to speak on my own behalf. So be part of it. Cast your vote. It's a civic duty, and it helps to keep our nation great. So thank you very, very much. If we could call the roll, please.
Commissioner Good.
Commissioner Good is in traffic, and he's on his way. He just texted me.
Vice Mayor Hernandez.
Present.
Commissioner Rodriguez. Here. Commissioner Schwartz. Here. Mayor Castillo.
Here.
City Manager Dodge.
Here.
City Attorney Gorin.
I'm here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, friends. And I would like to ask you if you could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be followed by the national anthem. So please remain standing. And today, leading us in the pledge and singing the national anthem is Jenna Channing, who's been here before. She's an 8th grader at American Heritage. Her grandparents have been longtime Pembroke Pines residents, and she lives in Davie, and there's nothing wrong with that. So, Jenna, if you could come forward, please, whenever you're ready.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Jenna Channing, 8th grade. Thank you so very much. Commissioner Good, welcome. If the clerk can mark Commissioner Good as present. Thank you so very, very much. Okay, we have some presentations to do today. Okay, this is a proclamation of the City of Pembroke Pines, Florida, on the occasion of the 80th anniversary of India's Independence Day. Mr. Terrari, do you want to come forward? And do your friends want to come forward? Just you?
Though we have been together for 56 years.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome. All right. So this is a proclamation in the City of Pembroke Pines, Florida, whereas on August 15th, 1947, India achieved independence, marking the beginning of its journey as a free and sovereign democratic nation, and on August 15th, 2026, marks its 80th anniversary of India's independence, commemorating 8 decades of its enduring commitment to liberty, self-determination, democracy, and the rule of law. And whereas the City of Pembroke Pines is proud to recognize and celebrate the rich cultural heritage, traditions, and history of the Indian community and of all communities, whose members have made meaningful contributions to the social, cultural, and educational, medical, scientific, technological, and economic vitality of our community. Now, therefore, I, Angelo Castillo, Mayor of the City of Pembroke Pines, Florida, on behalf of the City Commission, do hereby proclaim August 15th, 2026, India's Independence Day in the City of Pembroke Pines, encouraging all residents to recognize and celebrate the many contributions of the Indian community while joining in the commemoration of this 80th anniversary of India's independence. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have to take a photo.
Oh.
Let's take a photo. You got it?
And Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioner Good, Commissioner Rodriguez, Commissioner Swartz, City Manager Charlie Dodge, Sam Gorin, and the City Clerk. Thank you. Thank you very much. On behalf of Indian Americans, I accept this. This is an honor for us because in this country, I know there is a lot of opportunity, and we are happy that we have been able to achieve that. And I respect and honor that proclamation. But let me read what I wrote. No. My name is Ram Tiwari. I am an Indian American. I have been a long-time resident of City of Pembroke Pines since 1988. And I am proud of being living in the City of Pembroke Pines. And it is my absolute honor and privilege to receive this proclamation celebrating August 15th as 80th anniversary of India's Independence Day. Even though it is a work day, some of my colleagues are here and they will join with you, Mayor. We will take a photograph. We cannot thank you enough for your kind consideration of the community. Planned erection of Gandhi statue in William B. Armstrong Dream Park, Diwali resolution, and annual Hindu Heritage Month, which we receive in month of October. It shows the Commission's recognition of Indian American community. Commissioner Good, thank you, you are in time. I want to thank you because Commissioner Good attended 250th anniversary celebration at the temple. So I am happy, but Mayor was busy because of his grandson. Yes, but it is noteworthy that similarities between the constitutional traditions of India and United States, deep commitment to liberty, equality, democracy, fundamental rights, and the rule of law. So we are happy that our constitution here in USA and India, they have a similar values. And we are proud both as an Indian heritage and as an American citizen. This partnership between the world's two largest democracies, we are 1.4 billion people, which is almost 4 times the population of United States, and 1/3 the area. So we are very dense people. The partnership between these two largest democracies continues to strengthen security, trade, technology, education, culture, diversity, and global peace. Though India has never been an aggressor, but it has fought wars with its hostile neighbor. America has always been the kind of opportunity, and we have very happy and fortunate to use that. And we are achieving our American dream, and we Indian Americans are appreciative of that opportunity. We are law-abiding, peace-loving, and happy to serve as doctors, engineers, IT professionals, business owners, and participate in all the social activities. And Mayor, I always look for your Facebook page where you devote to public affairs and civic engagement. I learned a lot, especially on the property appraisal and things of that kind. So thank you, Mayor, and thank you once again to all of you. Thank you. And we would like to have a photograph.
Mayor should be in the middle. Mayor in the middle. Mayor in the middle.
He wants to be in the middle.
Yes, sir.
Do you want to join? Do you guys want to join?
Yeah, we should, yes. Thank you.
All right.
You all right?
Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Some of this side.
Okay. There you go.
Now we are ready. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Coffee, beautiful.
A pleasure. Okay. All right. Okay. Vice Mayor, if you will join us. And the Vice Mayor has a certificate of recognition to present.
Yeah. And I'm going to attempt to do this without my glasses. That's called courage. Could we have the Pines Running Club up? Come up? Yeah.
Come on up.
I'm going to read something, and then I'll hand this back to you, and if you have any comments. Hi, how are you? Okay, but we're off-center. We got to come this way. Okay. The goal is to be like right there, okay? So I'm going to read this. You want to be on my side? Okay. So on behalf of the City Commission, I'm proud to recognize Pines Running Company as you celebrate your first anniversary. I'm going to let them talk about the club and what it is that they do, but this is their first anniversary, and you will see them out in our community. Your dedication to promoting health, wellness, and community engagement through the sport of running has brought people together in our city, inspired active lifestyles, and strengthened our community spirit. Through your leadership, commitment, and the efforts of your outstanding team, you have created an inclusive environment where individuals of all ages and abilities are encouraged to connect, achieve their goals, and support one another. So we proudly recognize the contributions of your dedicated leadership and volunteers. These are the names that we included. Adrian Mateo, our founder and coach. Daniela, I'm sorry if I mispronounced this, Iturres, okay? And she's my friend. Marketing and design, Shamar Allen, Pacer. Well, these are all Pacers that I'm going to mention right now. Shamar Allen, Felipe Trebaldos, Miranda Rodriguez, then is it Janice? Okay, Janice Mateo, co-founder. Do you know Adrian Mateo by any chance? Okay, just making sure. Rosanna Medina, who's also a pacer, Devin Galero, which is a pacer, and Samuel Sanchez, who's a pacer. We appreciate your commitment to fostering a healthier, more connected, and vibrant Pembroke Pines community. We extend our sincere congratulations and best wishes for your continued success in the years ahead. And I appreciate very much that you all put this together. I do follow you on Instagram. I don't know that I'm brave enough to run several miles. I'm more of a Stairmaster person, but I appreciate very much. And Daniela, thank you so much for reaching out to me about this. I will make up the fact that the day that I was supposed to be there, I could not because I actually was sick and I did not want to be around you at that time. So I will be going out. Text me and I will be there. But this is for you all. And if you have anything to say, Adrian.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor, and the rest of the City Commission. I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. We started this about a year ago, myself and the others, and I want to mention this guy right here. He's the one that actually motivated me to start this, Dominic. He's very important within the fitness community, within Pines and Miramar area. My initiative with this was just to get Pines moving. Pines is a beautiful community, and we want to continue to push our agenda of just pushing health and wellness out there. So if you guys, we'd like to continue to align with the city. I'm your guy, just so you guys know, all right? Thank you guys so much.
Thank you very much. We're going to take a photo, or if you guys, I don't know if you have someone here that will take for you too, but Carlos will do it. Hold on. I'm going to put this down. Yeah, we have to move. Hold on. Where do you, Angelo, you're in the middle? I'm going to sit with you. Squeeze a little bit.
I run every 4 years. That's about it. It's a one-time event, but it's usually a lot of fun. You got it. You got it. Yeah, that's good. You're going to have to get me a cab, but that's all right. I'm glad that you're out and you're doing it. Congratulations and enjoy. You got it. Okay. Now we have the charter schools, our amazing Pembroke Pines charter schools. This is, on behalf of the City Commission and our entire community, I congratulate the City of Pembroke Pines Charter Schools on earning 2 very highly significant awards. The first is the Government Finance Officers Association Distinguished Budget Presentation Award. This is a prestigious award that honors excellence in budget presentation. And the Association of School Business Officers International Meritorious Budget Award, which means that the budget that they wrote is actually great. And these prestigious national honors recognize the city's unwavering commitment to transparency, accountability, and the excellence in financial stewardship. This outstanding achievement reflects the dedication and professionalism of our staff and reinforces our promise to responsibly manage public resources while providing exceptional educational opportunities for our students. And here to accept these awards is Nalini Sohit Vasquez, the city's controller. I'm going to hold the mic for you while you tell us where, what do you think? Oh, you can do it.
Thank you, Mayor, everyone on the dais, Superintendent Dodge, Mr. Gorin, Gabrielle. Even though that this award is currently tied to my team and myself, it is definitely a team effort. There's a lot of work that goes behind it. So I do want to acknowledge the people that help us put this together, and that, of course, is our school leadership team. Our principals are excellent, and I thank you for your unwavering commitment to our charter schools and dedication to our students. Individuals in our finance department always helps us. My team on a day-to-day basis support our charter schools behind the scenes. And last, I want to personally thank my boss, Assistant City Manager Jonathan Bonilla, who's been my mentor ever since I've been here at City of Pembroke Pines. Though he gives me grief sometimes, he always supports me, has faith in me, and I am grateful to him for that, for being my mentor. Thank you so much. And again, I am accepting this on behalf of all of those teams that help make our charter schools great.
You're terrific. Thank you so very, very much. And as I go back to the podium, Assistant City Manager Mike Stamm has an announcement to make.
Good evening, Mike Stamm, Assistant City Manager and Director of Planning and Economic Development. On behalf of the city, I'm providing public notice on the public record of an upcoming community meeting to be held here at the Charles F. Dodge City Center on August 25th from 6 to 7 p.m. as required by Florida law. This is not a city commission meeting, nor a meeting conducted by city staff, although the meeting is being posted by the city. The Florida legislature created the Brownfield Redevelopment Act, cited as sections 376.77 and 376.85, or 2376.85 Florida statutes. It provides for the designation by the City Commission via resolution at a future date for one or more parcels within the city as a brownfield area, and for the corresponding provisions of environmental remediation, rehabilitation, and economic development incentives by the state. State law provides that the framework and application requirements for the property owners to comply with before a resolution is placed on the City Commission public meeting agenda for City Commission consideration. One of those requirements concerns public transparency. The community meeting, which is, again, not a city meeting, it's being conducted by the applicant. We must announce this meeting here during a public forum. Once the applicant has successfully completed all of the statutory requirements, the city is then required to conduct an additional advertised public hearing and again announce that scheduled public hearing when it will take place in advance. Following these two public hearings, the commission can consider the resolution as requested by the property owner. The parcel in question, I emailed this to the commission earlier today and it's been posted outside at our posting board, is at the northwest corner of Pembroke Road and Hiatus. The public meeting, as I mentioned, will be here on the 25th between 6 and 7 p.m. We have posted it that 2 or more commissioners may be in attendance. Should commissioners want to attend that meeting and have questions, it has been posted. We'll be back at a later date with additional information outside of the public meeting that's going to be held by the consultant, or the applicant, excuse me, next week. Thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Stamm. Thank you very much. Okay. Commission order report.
None, Mayor.
Okay. Appeals of the board, adjustment decisions.
None, Mayor.
Okay. Announcement of board and committee appointments. I'm very happy to appoint and announce the appointment of Mirtha Rimarachin as a regular member of the Environmental Advisory Board. She's currently serving as an alternate member. And is she here? Would you come forward, please? There's a button there that says speak. Yeah, you're on.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Been waiting several
If you
years.
could pull the mic down just a little bit. Go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity, and I've been waiting for several years, so finally it's here.
You have served as an alternate member with the great appreciation of the board, and I want to thank you for your service as an alternate member. And your turn came, and whenever possible, it's my policy to appoint alternate members to be regular members, and I think that makes sense because you know something about what they talk about, and so I really, really want to thank you for your service and thank you for being a great citizen in Pembroke Pines. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Good?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Today, I'm very pleased to bring forward the appointment of Yancy Toledo to our Citizens Budget Advisory Board, and she's in the audience. If she can come up to the podium while I introduce her to our public here. So as she comes up, Yancy has been a resident of Pembroke Pines for 8 years, and she brings both a deep commitment to our community and an exceptional professional background in municipal finance. In her application, she expressed a genuine desire to help the city make responsible, transparent, and well-informed budget decisions. And that a commitment is something that I know to be true from professional experience. I had the privilege of working with Yancy years ago during our time together in government, and I saw firsthand the level of talent that she brings to the table. Her professionalism, her mastery of complex financial systems, and her ability to break down complicated budget issues into clear, actionable insights made her an invaluable part of the team. And I'll be honest, I was saddened when she moved on, because she was exactly the kind of steady, thoughtful, highly skilled professional you would always want in your organization. Her resume reflects that same strength. More than 20 years of experience in government finance, including her current role as a grants accounting manager for the city of Miramar, and prior service with Broward County as an accounting supervisor and senior budget analysis. She has deep expertise in GASB standards, forecasting, budgeting, ERP systems, and financial reporting. That's the precise skill set that strengthens this board's ability to analyze complex financial information. But beyond her technical qualification, Yancy brings a citizens-focused perspective and a sincere desire to contribute to the long-term fiscal health of the city where she and her family call home. She's experienced, she's committed, and she's someone I personally know to be exceptional. So with that, Mr. Mayor, I make my appointment of Yancy Toledo to the Citizens Budget Advisory Board, and welcome.
Excellent choice, and congratulations. Would you like to say a few words?
Yes. Thank you so much. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, honorable members of the Commission, City Manager, City Attorney, City Clerk. And thank you so much, Mr. Good, Commissioner Good, for all your kind words. I certainly appreciate the opportunity. It is an honor to serve my community. And I will definitely not disappoint. I know I have big expectations, and I will certainly meet them. As of right now, I can tell you that I feel very honored to have this opportunity to speak on behalf of my community, and hopefully, and I would definitely hope to make some wise, I would say not opinions, but I would say recommendations as to how we can all move forward in a more efficient manner, and also being prudent and making best use of our budgeted funds, which we all know is going to be impacted by the upcoming property tax bill, potentially will be impacted. So I know that the budget is going to be looked at very closely. I know it's going to be almost scrutinized where we can cut, how we can maximize the use of our funds, and how we can serve our constituents in the best way possible. So I hope to be part of that effort. I'm honored to be here, and I thank you again for this opportunity, and thank you again for your kind words, Commissioner.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
Thank
Yancy.
You'll do
You are
great
awesome.
things.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you very, very much. Okay, the consent today, consent agenda
Mr. Mayor,
today.
I still have another appointment.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry, they put both my appointments under a singular item.
Oh, I missed it. Go right ahead, sir.
So I also, Mr. Mayor, am very proud to bring forward the appointment, and particularly in this case, it's the reassignment of Aaron Lee to the City of Pembroke Pines Budget Advisory Board. So if he can come up, and as he's making his way, let me again introduce you, Aaron, to the public, though we know you. So Aaron is a third-generation resident of Pembroke Pines with more than 25 years of living in our city. His roots here run deep, and his commitment to our neighborhoods, our family, and our future is unmistakable. I want to take a moment to thank his grandmother, Betty, who is here tonight, and his mother, Shauna, who is also here tonight. Two women who poured love, discipline, and community pride into raising him. Their dedication has shaped the young leader who is stepping forward to serve the city they wholeheartedly support. Pembroke Pines is stronger because of families like theirs. Families who raise the next generation to care, to show up, and to lead. Aaron Jordan joins his board after serving with distinction on the Economic Development Board, where he was highly respected for his professionalism, his preparation, and his ability to bring a fresh, community-centered perspective to every discussion. His tenure there has taught him well. He understands how economic choices, development patterns, and market trends directly influence the city's long-term lasting and strategic planning. His resume shows extensive experience in using analytical data to assist with business decisions, managing budgets, and performance metrics. These are exactly the skills that strengthen the work of our Budget Advisory Board. What stands out most about Aaron is his heart for service. In his application, he wrote that he wants to offer new, innovative solutions for the greater good of my community while advocating for other residents, quote. That is the mindset we want, guiding our fiscal conversations, thoughtful, forward-looking, and rooted in the lived experience of our residents. Aaron is actively engaged in issues that directly impact our immediate and surrounding communities. He understands that the decisions we make today shape the city our families will inherit tomorrow. His reassignment to this board is not only appropriate, it is an investment in the kind of leadership Pembroke Pines deserves. With gratitude to the family that raised him and confidence in the leadership that he brings, I again welcome Aaron to the Budget Advisory Board. Thank you for taking on this opportunity, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you. First and foremost, can you guys hear me? All right. Well, good evening, everybody. Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, City Manager, City Attorney, and City Clerk. Thank you guys again. 2 years ago, I was before you all because I was going to go ahead and accept the award, accept the appointment of being on the Economic Development Board. Throughout those 2 years, I've learned a lot about how the business is run in the city and also what it takes for a business to be, pretty much productive and also, pretty run the right way. Although this is bittersweet, I do really look forward to being on the Citizens Budget Advisory Board, and I definitely want to share my, thoughts as far as how we could, have more innovative ideas like Commissioner Tom made, and also how we can make sure that we're gonna, make sure the city goes in the right direction. So, Commissioner Good, I personally want to thank you for considering me for this role. I look forward to serving this community, and thank you guys again for having me here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for being here.
Mayor, Mr. Lee, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to, Mr. Lee, come on back down. Come on back down. It's
It's not customary for us to address appointees afterwards, but I must tell you that your work on the Economic Development Board did not go unnoticed by me and your peers and your chairman, and everything that Commissioner Good just said. I want to double that. Okay, you have the commitment of this community. Keep moving forward. Make tomorrow better than yesterday, and look forward to seeing the work ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much. Yeah.
Okay. Today's consent agenda consists of items 1 through 5. What is your pleasure?
Mayor, I'd like to pull 3C, 3 Charlie, please.
3C. Okay, so the motion would need to be for 1, 2, 3A and B, 4 and 5. Is there a motion? Moved by Commissioner
Second.
Rodriguez, seconded by the Vice Mayor. Any discussion on those items? Any from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Show it passes unanimously. Commissioner Schwartz, 3C.
Motion to approve request to advertise solicitation C, CS-26-03 countertops for housing apartments.
You are recognized.
Can I get a second, please?
Is there a second? Second by the Vice Mayor.
Thank you. City Manager Dodge, I want to thank you for your comments in the Monday night memo that I received this morning. I do have some follow-up questions. In the backup, in the ARF, it has in the bid package, it says that there's a project manager assigned to this, I guess, overseeing the installation. Do you have that person already identified, who that project manager is going to be?
Yes. Mark, can you give me the name?
Thank you. I just have a couple questions, that's all.
Good evening, everyone. Mark Gomes, Assistant City Manager, Director of Procurement and Sustainability. That would be Frank Tietz in Public Services, the Facilities Manager.
Okay, Mr. Gomes, to the City Manager. Is he currently overseeing this this project? In the response that we received, it says that the contract had expired, so we have been installing these countertops for a period of time?
Yes, so we've multiple times this contract has been brought in front of Commission and we've awarded it to different vendors. On an as-needed basis, the Community Services Department has a need to replace countertops in the different apartments when they transition from one resident to another.
And is it the project manager or who approves the number of, I guess, the number of installations expected?
Expected?
Yes.
I believe it's a combination with Public Services, coordinating with the Community Services Department on what they anticipate they may have a need for turnover and renovation.
All right, so specifically at Pines Place, do we know how many are in need of replacement today?
I specifically don't know how many vacant apartments. I'm not sure if Jay might be able to answer that question.
Thank you.
Jay Schechter, Director of Community Services.
Good evening, sir.
As of today, there are no apartments that need countertops at Pines Place. However, there may be tomorrow. Should someone move out, we'll do the inspection and see if it's needed.
Do you anticipate between now and the end of the year, 68 kitchens/bathrooms that would need to be replaced?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Schechter. Mr. Gomes, page 13 of the bid package has a total of 68 units that's currently in the bid spec. Given the fact that the property may be sold and may be closed upon before the end of the year, I don't know if we are in good faith putting this out to bid in good faith to a potential vendor. They're going to be placing time and effort to put in a bid spec for potentially 68 countertops, but the closing is anticipated to occur before the end of the year. I don't know why we are going with this quantity, let alone making a potential investment if we have no foreseeable vacancies in the future for, between now and the end of the year.
If I may, Jay Schechter,
Absolutely.
Community Services. The vendor has no expectations of 68 units. As we inspect them,
Speak up.
Public Works can.
Speak at the
Sorry. As we inspect them, very often Public Works carpenters can come in and make the countertops right. We don't need to replace them totally. And it is on an as-need basis, and the vendor is aware of that.
The current vendor is aware of it, Mr. Gomes? Because the contract is expired.
Well, no, so this is for as-needed service. So it's, that's just an estimate. If you would like, we could go back and work with the Community Services Department and the Public Services Department and come up with a different estimate, or I could just change all those quantities to one, if that's something you prefer.
I would like to be able to put something out to the public that is going to actually occur in lieu, because what's going to happen is you could have, let's just say, a major retailer with orange stripes on their building, okay? They have the economies of scale to go ahead and procure this from this specific manufacturer. You've already selected where the top is going to be produced and what type of top it's going to be and the bid spec. Therefore, the only other possibility for a vendor to come in is to buy in quantity. The more you buy, the cheaper the price. So if they're putting a bid in for potentially 50 or more units, they're certainly not going to get it if we're only going to be turning over 3 or 4 on an as-needed basis. You do have, to your credit, and I'm not personalizing this. This is for your whole department. Is basically a 1-year cap and then an escalator thereafter, which is fine. I'm just not comfortable putting something out on the street that may not be. It doesn't say as needed. I haven't seen the as needed. Now, it may have been oversight on my part, but I don't see as needed in the bid spec.
Mr. Gomes?
Yeah, if I believe the bid specs does represent that it's on an as-needed basis. We could always go back and add additional language about the potential sale of the property if that would make the commission feel a little more comfortable with the item. We can change it to unit quantities of 1 if that would make the commission feel a little more comfortable with the item. At the end of the day, we really don't know what is expected at that facility. Turnover could happen any day and needs could arise. So that's why we have this contract there just on an as-needed basis to address those situations. But if that would help, we can definitely do that.
All right, colleagues, it sounds like staff is not objecting to making some language modifications and quantity modifications. If you're comfortable with that, Mayor, would it be appropriate for me to move staff's recommendations?
Well, let's see if someone else has something to say, and then you can make a motion.
Okay.
Does anyone else want to be heard on this?
Mr. Mayor, I just got a question. Pines Place is located where?
University Drive.
Okay, and Pines Point is located where?
Next to the senior center.
So this is a contract for both locations, right? So how do we work through that conversation here? I mean, like, you don't want to knock it down to nothing when you have Pines Point, which you have a requirement to handle those seniors that live at that location. Is that correct?
Agreed. And just for clarification, I know the comment was made that the vendors typically buy the materials ahead of time. I don't believe in the past the contractors that were awarded were buying tons of countertops ahead of time to install them.
Okay. So I don't disagree with the as-needed component of this here. If it's not clearly spelled out, I agree to that. But I also, too, recognize that this is a contract that's for both of our locations, and I don't want to cut no spite face on this.
Anybody else? So let me ask you, what is the source of funds for this contract?
The Community Services Department's budget. Oh.
What is the source of funds? Does it come out of
R&M.
rents? Or is this a grant-funded item?
It comes out of the revenue from the rents, Mayor.
So it comes out of revenues from the rents. And would this vendor continue to be available to any potential future purchaser?
Yeah, that would be an opportunity for the purchaser to work out with the vendor.
But thereafter, if they wanted to create a different contract, would they have the ability to use our contractor or their own? How, has that been thought through?
Well, the purchaser would be a separate entity. They could definitely contract with a vendor. The vendor would have to allow that vendor to utilize that same pricing, and the purchaser would have to agree to that pricing. So it's
Okay.
definitely something that can be arranged.
Okay. Anyone else want to be heard on this? Commissioner Schwartz, you had a motion?
I'd like to, city attorney, give me the language. I don't want to mess this one up. It's going out to the street. What would be the appropriate language adopting staff's modification to quantity and as needed?
Well, you indicated as needed.
As needed.
As needed.
If I may, Mr. Mayor, the key
Yeah.
key to your motion is the as-needed basis, as opposed to an absolute commitment to the 68.
Yeah, I think the as-needed actually trumps the quantity. I think the as-needed makes it self-evident that there's no quantity guaranteed if it's on an as-needed basis.
Can you still extract a bid if it has no numbers in it?
So
Doesn't having this number in it, even if it says as needed, allow you to make a determination on price?
Yeah, the complication of not having a quantity, the staff comes up with a quantity to help estimate what's they believe may be needed. That could adjust who wins the bid, because this is an IFB. We go with the lowest bidder once they're qualified. So if you use a quantity of 1, if every vendor priced it as, we'll just total that, versus a skewed data with higher quantities for different types of apartments.
I mean, I think that having a number in there gives you a sense of what the pricing for the service would be. I think that is as needed in the document now.
I believe it is.
I think it's right there, as it says, on an as-needed basis. So I'm not sure that we need this, this motion. It's right there.
I asked staff to find me the as-needed.
Well, there it is.
What page?
It's right in front of you.
You know, listen.
No, I'm showing you, 4.1.
But you're not looking at the screen I'm looking at, sir. I'm looking online.
You don't have one of the screens?
Sir, I have 2 screens. I'm looking at this one. So don't
Okay,
tell me it's
on
in
the
front of
city,
me.
on the city screen,
Thank you.
it's 4.1.
4.1 of the contract.
It's in blue.
Okay, and it's also on page 8 on my side.
Okay.
That's all I was looking for. We don't, you know. So,
Okay.
so that clarifies the as needed. So there's no need for me to make that point, to make a change. I think there should be a separation between point and place. I think there ought to be.
Okay, so do you want to make a motion?
Yeah, I'd like to, would that be a bifurcation? I mean, how would you?
Mr. Mayor, if I may offer a suggestion.
Yeah.
So maybe we can just reference a not to exceed number of units that we would do this to. So, I mean, you have 68.
Potential.
How many was for Pines Point? How many was for Pines Place? Little fudge factor. Can you put in a not to exceed number?
I just, as a recommendation, I wouldn't recommend that we limit the city to not exceed a certain number. I think if we just identify that these are estimated numbers and we're asking the vendor to provide services on an as-needed basis, I think that should provide enough information to the vendors to adequately bid the project, and it gives the city the flexibility to award as many apartments they need.
Have we considered, given the fact that we've given the city manager spending authority up to a certain amount before it comes here, that we can just procure the actual material and just pay for the labor, just bid the labor out?
Sir, if you want to have a conversation about the internal operations of the city, this is not the place to have it. That's between, as far as I can tell, this entire discussion should have been in the Monday night memo.
It was. I got it on Wednesday morning.
Yeah,
So how am I gonna deal with that?
No, but I didn't see the as needed, and I didn't see the 68 versus the 1 versus the a discussion about whether or not this should be done on a time and materials basis. I mean, the staff knows what they're doing, and they have put forward an RFP that meets their particular needs, and I think the as-needed point was very well taken, but it's right there. Unless you have a motion to make, we need to move on. Okay. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Okay. We are now on to...
Mr. Mayor, if I interrupt just for a moment?
Yes, sir.
There may be some items at the request of the public that need to be heard, and if you wouldn't mind allowing
yes.
that to occur. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor.
I have two speakers. Al, you are assigned to speak on an item that's on the agenda, so I'm going to call you then, if that's okay. All right? And the other speaker is Mario Pena Garcia. If you would please come forward and state your name and address for the record. Thank you. There's a button there that says speak on the bottom. Yeah, you're on.
I turned the button on.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the City Council, Chief Vargas, and the men and women of the Pembroke Pines Police Department. Thank you for allowing me a few minutes to speak before you about something that is very personal to me, but also something I believe is very important to our entire community. I am here today as a father who lost his only son. He was a decorated former South Florida law enforcement officer who struggled with PTSD during and after his service. A few years ago, he took his life. There isn't a day that doesn't go by that I don't think about my son. As a father, I will always wonder if there was something more that I could have done. But today, I don't want to just focus only on what we lost. I want to focus on lives we can still save. Our police officers see things that most people will never see in a lifetime. They deal with the trauma, the violence, the death, the tremendous pressure, often while being expected to go home at the end of their shift and simply move on. We ask our officers to protect our families, our businesses, and our communities. I believe we have a responsibility to them as well. I am respectfully asking the City Council and the City of Pembroke Pines to look at providing additional mental health resources specifically for the men and women of the Pembroke Pines Police Department that could include confidential counseling, PTSD and trauma service, peer support group, and making sure that our officers can speak without feeling that asking for help could hurt their careers and their reputations. We cannot wait until another officer reaches that breaking point or until another family has to experience the kind of loss that my family has experienced. My son's life cannot be saved, but perhaps some other officer's life can be. My son, if putting better resources in place helps even one officer to come home safely to their family, then I believe it was well worth every effort and every dollar invested in it. We lost a police officer last week in the city of Sunrise. We lost a police officer in the city of Doral 13 days ago. It continues to happen. Something has got to be done. I asked the city to look at options that we can explore to make sure that the safe and the wellness of our police officers, men and women, are cared for. Thank you very much for your time, and God help us all. Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you again.
Thank you very much. And we thank you for your service and for your son's service. And I know the police department is in the back, and you're part of the Pembroke Pines Police Citizens Group, and please talk to them and open a dialogue that will allow you to know what it is that we do to keep the mental health of all of our officers strong. And let's talk about what more we can do. And I want to thank you for coming forward, and thank you, ma'am, as well. Thank you, sir. It's an honor to have you. Okay. Second reading ordinances, number 6, City Attorney.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor and Commission. Item number 6 for the record is a motion to adopt proposed ordinance number 2026-05 on second and final reading with a public hearing before the Mayor and Commission. It is proposed ordinance number 2026-05, which is an ordinance of the City of Pembroke Pines, Florida, amending Chapter 38 of the City's Code of Ordinances, which provides for the retirement income plan for general employees of the City of Pembroke Pines, to completely terminate the plan in accordance with provisions of Section 38.070 of the city's code, specifically amending Section 38.002 entitled Definitions, Section 38.005 entitled Active Participants, Section 38.025 entitled Benefits, Section 38.031 entitled Deferred Retirement Option Plan, Section 38.042 entitled Disability Benefits, Section 38.052 entitled Optional Forms of Distribution, Section 38.053 referenced as Election Procedures, and finally, Section 38.070 entitled Termination and Limitation. For the purposes of effectuating the termination of the plan, as more particularly described and fully provided for herein, providing for codification, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. Mayor, for the record, the item is now on the floor for consideration and a public hearing as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Motion, please. Moved by Commissioner Rodriguez, seconded by the Vice Mayor. Any discussion on this?
Mayor, question to the city attorney.
Yeah.
City Attorney, just to restate for the record, it was determined at first reading I do not have a voting conflict. Has anything changed?
No, and for the record, Deputy City Attorney Julie Clark is on the line and has also confirmed the question and ratified the answer provided earlier, which is under state law, although you may benefit theoretically from the termination of the plan, you are entitled to vote under Chapter 112, and there would not be, in our opinion, a voting conflict that would require your recusal from voting. Thank you, Mayor.
Anyone else?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Commissioner Good.
So I've been briefed pretty extensively on this item, and I understand I'm pretty good with everything. I did receive, however, an email today, which I believe all of us may have received it, in reference to something that I don't have an answer to, which was referencing a 3% COLA that was assigned to the retirement plan. And I don't know anything about that. If we can have somebody speak to that for a moment.
Yes, Mayor.
The 3% CROLA.
It is.
Mr. Rothstein, you want?
He's here, but it is included within that, Commissioner. There are no changes to the existing plan. Mr. Rothstein can also address that.
Mr. Rothstein?
And Mr. Mayor and Commission, should the Commission choose Deputy City Attorney Julie Clark on the phone as well to reconfirm any aspect of the legality of Commissioner Good's inquiry for the purpose of the record as needed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Daniel Rothstein, Special Projects Manager. That individual has been contacted and in writing as well told that he does have a COLA, and that's part of the plan. It's in the documentation that was sent out 3 or 4 different places, so he was notified.
So there is a clear reference to the documentation that indicates that there is a 3% COLA assigned to this plan, whoever is going to assume the responsibility.
There's a 3% COLA for certain members, there's a 2% for certain members, and there's
But
a
it's
0.
all, the most important thing for me is just that it's all spelled out in the documentation, because
yes, it is.
The information that was provided, you know, of course, I never had a conversation, didn't have time because I just saw it late today, that there was no reference in any of the controlling documents, I guess, that is moving this item forward. And I just wanted to make sure that it exists, it won't be lost, and we're fine.
Yes.
Okay. Mr.
Any-
Mayor, that's all I needed to hear.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Okay, any from the public? Seeing none. Mr. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Rodriguez? Yes. Vice Mayor Hernandez?
Yes.
Commissioner Schwartz?
Yes.
Commissioner Good?
Yes.
Mayor Castillo?
Yes, and by your vote, this item passes unanimously. Thank you very
For
much.
the record, Mayor and Commission, the permit number is 2059, which references the transition. All the documents required to implement this decision have been in place. We're coordinating with Mr. Rothstein and the appropriate sources to make sure that the planned closure and the transition occurs promptly and consistent with Florida law.
Excellent, and I want to congratulate City Manager Dodge, you, Ms. City Attorney Julie, and also Mr. Rothstein for a job well done. Okay, item number 7.
Thank you, Mayor and Commission. Number 7 for the record is a motion to adopt proposed ordinance number 2026-06 on second and final reading, which includes a public hearing before the Mayor and Commission. Proposed ordinance number 2026-06 is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Pembroke Pines, Florida, amending ordinance number 2052, providing for an amended budget for fiscal year 2025 and 2026 for the City of Pembroke Pines, Florida, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and for the record, providing for an effective date. This is item 2026-06 on the record for consideration. Thank you, Mayor
Thank you
and
very
Commission.
much. Is there a motion?
I'll move it.
Moved by the Vice Mayor. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Rodriguez. Any discussion? Hearing none. Any from the public? Clerk will call the roll.
Vice Mayor Hernandez?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Schwartz?
No.
Commissioner Good?
Yes.
Mayor Castillo?
Yes, and by your vote, this item passes. Thank you very much.
For the record, Mayor and Commission, the permanent number for those in need of the information is number 2060. Number 8, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, number 8, please read.
Thank you, Mayor, if you may, if you will. Number 8 is a motion to adopt proposed ordinance number 2026-04 on second and final reading, which also includes a public hearing as required by law. Proposed ordinance number 2026-04 is an ordinance of the City of Pembroke Pines, Florida, pursuant to Section 8.03 of the City of Pembroke Pines Charter, authorizing the execution of an agreement to enter into a sublease attached here to as Exhibit A and incorporated herein by reference for real property generally located at 8103 South Palm Drive, references Tower 1, 8210 Florida Drive, Tower number 2, and 8203 Florida Drive, references Tower 3, collectively referred to as Pines Place, and described in Exhibit B, which property is subleased by the City of Pembroke Pines from the State of Florida, the Department of Children and Family Services, and owned by the State of Florida through the Board of Trustees of the Internal Trust Fund of the State of Florida, authorizing the closing of the transaction contemplated in the agreement effective upon the filing by the City Manager with the City Clerk of a certificate confirming that the closing requirements in the agreement have been satisfied, the form of which is attached here to as Exhibit C, subject to the terms and conditions as set forth in the agreement, authorizing the proper city officials to execute all necessary documents and to take all actions necessary to close the transaction consistent with the authority granted herein, providing that any amendments extending the review period to the agreement to enter into the sublease may be approved by a duly executed resolution of the City Commission, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and lastly, providing for an effective date, and as required by law, Mayor and Commission, a public hearing for item number 8, which is 2026-04 on the record. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Is there a motion? Moved by the Vice Mayor. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Good. Any discussion? Hearing none. Any from the public? Mr. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Vice Mayor Hernandez?
Yes.
Commissioner Good?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Schwartz?
No.
Mayor Castillo?
Yes, and by your vote, this item passes.
For
Thank
the
you
record,
very
Mayor and
much.
Commission, the permanent number is 2061, and it is compliant with Section 8.03 of the city's charter referencing the 4/5 vote required for approval of an asset being transitioned or sold by the city as required by the city charter. Thank you, Mayor.
You have your 4/5 vote. Congratulations, City Commission. Congratulations, Pembroke Pines. We are on our way to doing great things with this item, and I really, really look forward to the next steps. Number 9.
Mayor and Commissioner, if you will, number 9 is a resolution. It's a motion to adopt proposed resolution number 2026-R-17. For the record, it is proposed resolution number 2026-R-17, which is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pembroke Pines, Florida, vacating the unplatted utility easement recorded in Broward County Official Records Book number 29693 at page 1015 and Book 29820 at page 869 is more particularly described in Exhibit A, attached here to and incorporated herein by reference on the property located at 151 Southwest 184th Avenue in the City of Pembroke Pines, Florida, 33029 is the zip code, and more particularly described by its legal description in Exhibit B, attached here to and incorporated herein as well, providing for recordation, providing for conflict, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. This is a resolution number 2026-R-17 on the record for the purpose of your mayor and consideration and the commission. Thank you.
Moved by the Vice Mayor. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Rodriguez. Any discussion? Hearing none. Any from the public? Seeing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Show passes unanimously.
The record, Mayor and Commission, permanent number for those who need to have that on their records is 3957, 3957.
Thank you.
Mayor, next up is number 10 with your permission.
Please do.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Number 10 for the record is motion to adopt proposed resolution number 2026-R-19, which is a resolution of the City of Pembroke Pines, Florida, amending the budget for the City of Pembroke Pines charter schools, plural, for the charter school fiscal year beginning July 1 of 2025, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. Number 10 for the record is 2026-R-19, referencing our wonderful charter schools. Thank you,
Motion,
Mayor and
please.
Commission.
Move it. Moved by the Vice Mayor, seconded by Commissioner Rodriguez. Any discussion? Seeing none. Any from the public? Seeing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Show passes unanimously. Number 11.
Thank you. For the Mayor and the Commission, for the record, the permanent number for those who need to know is 3958. Next up, with your permission, Mayor, is number 11. Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. May I proceed?
Please do.
Thank you, Mayor. There's a motion to adopt proposed resolution number 2026-R number 20, which is a resolution of the City of Pembroke Pines, Florida, amending the budget for the City of Pembroke Pines and the Pines Florida State University Charter Elementary School for the charter school fiscal year beginning July 1, 2025, providing for conflict severability and providing for an effective date, and for the purpose of the record, 2026-R20 on the record for consideration. Mayor and
Thank you
Commissioner.
very much. Motion, please. Moved by the Vice Mayor, seconded by Commissioner Rodriguez. Any discussion? Seeing none. Any from the public? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Show passes unanimously.
For the record, Mayor and Commissioner, for those who need to know, the permanent number for the clerk also is 3959, 3959.
Reports of the League and MPO representatives.
Very happy to have attended the League of Cities conference. I believe a couple of us were there. One of the sessions that I found most interesting was one on communications, the city of Coral Springs, as well as an attorney who focuses on city communications and kind of the sunshine law and things in relation to city communications were there. It was really interesting to, the theme of it was basically going beyond the social post and doing, showing us what the city of Coral Springs as an example was doing. One highlight that we saw is they're actually doing a series on both YouTube and on their social media, kind of a day in the life in a city worker, mostly focused on highlighting what their taxes pay for, which is, I think we've talked about here, highlighting a lot more of what the taxpayer money goes to, whether it's public services, our Parks and Recreations Department, things like that. And so they've done a really beautifully done curated video series that they have online, so I encourage our communications department to look at that. And then they also mentioned just a whole host of resources that they shared through their presentation. That presentation is available on the app, the NLC app, when you log in with your credentials for the conference. If you can't find it, I can share the ones that I got, but it's really nice that they were able to highlight not only a really good city, but one that we partner with a lot in Coral Springs, and to be able to take knowledge from what they've been doing. So that was really good. And then on September 3rd, if I'm not mistaken, there is going to be the next meeting, which I'll be in attendance. After that, I think our delegate might need to take on for a couple of months. But we'll get to that, and Janice will coordinate with you all.
Thank you very, very much. And I want to thank all of you that attended that important conference.
Mayor,
yes.
Customarily, colleagues who've attended conferences, whether it be the mayors, the National Mayors Conference, Florida League Conference, usually the material that's covered and gathered is distributed amongst the rest of the commission. If able, can you share that with our executive assistants?
Sure. Mr. Dodge, if we can ask Karen to get a copy of the materials for Commissioner Schwartz. He was not able to attend the conferences.
Well, I certainly wasn't able to attend the National Mayors Conference, so any of those would be good to-
It's the U.S. Conference of Mayors.
Yeah.
They're all on my desk. She can get a copy of those.
If we could share it with all the entire commission.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Anything else on that? Commissioner Good on MPO.
There have been no meetings, Mr. Mayor, at this time, so.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. City Manager, any items from you?
No items, Mayor.
Ms. City Attorney.
Just two quick items, Mayor, just as a reference. The inquiry was made of our office regarding the amendment number 3 to the ballot going on the ballot in November regarding the ad valorem tax issue. We have confirmed that no appeal has been filed with the language that was agreed to between the Attorney General and the parties to the litigation in Tallahassee at Leon County, and that the item which was conferred upon provides for a revised ballot title and a ballot summary and a ballot language. To the extent that the item is out there in the public view, that item will appear on the ballot in November. Just as a matter of record, you inquired, others on the commission have also inquired about the status. There's no further litigation which we know of regarding that issue. And last but not least, Mayor, thank you for the coordination with the Mayor and Commission regarding a shade meeting that will occur on the 31st of August at 2 o'clock regarding the pending FOP litigation. And I thank you for
very
your
much.
timing. Thank you, sir, very much.
Anything else?
That's all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Commission items. Commissioner Rodriguez, number 12. You're recognized.
Thank you. So my item was just discussion and possible action regarding the draft of a resolution condemning Islamophobia. I just have a couple words on it. I would like to seek consensus from the Commission to direct the administration and the City Attorney to bring back a resolution denouncing Islamophobia, anti-Muslim bias, discrimination, threats, and violence. I've been working a lot with the Muslim community, MGAGE, and the Muslim Student Association, which we've all participated in events for. And I've heard growing concerns about increased Islamophobic rhetoric, as a lot of us have obviously been hearing anti-Semitic rhetoric as well on the rise due to global conflicts. Those concerns are obviously reflected nationally across the board. FBI data showed that religion-based hate crimes targeting Muslims reached their highest level in 2023 since 2017, and a Pew Research poll found that 70% of U.S. Muslims reported that discrimination against Muslims had increased following recent global conflicts. I'm asking for legal counsel to develop the appropriate language for a resolution to formally adopt a definition of Islamophobia, requesting administration to integrate this into existing anti-discrimination policies, obviously that being consistent with the U.S. Constitution, the Florida Constitution, state and federal civil rights laws, and applicable state laws. Sam has obviously a really good background as to the recent laws that might change what this language can entail, including the bill from the Florida state regarding DEI, so it would be according to those guidelines as well. This is not to provide special protections for one religious community or restricting constitutionally protected speech. It's about reaffirming a standard that applies equally to everyone in Pembroke Pines. No person should face discrimination, threats, violence, or unequal treatment because of their religion or perceived religion. This would be consistent also in the actions of this commission has taken in the past, including Resolution 3698, which denounced anti-Semitism, anti-Asian bigotry, hateful speech, and violent action. And I simply hope that we can apply that same standard here. When anti-Semitism, anti-Asian hatred, racism, and other forms of bias affected our community, we're willing to speak clearly against them then, and I hope that we can do the same here. Every resident in Pembroke Pines should know that they belong here and are entitled to the same dignity, safety, and equal treatment under the law. So it's just a direction to the city attorney's office to help us craft something. It would obviously come back to us, and we can discuss that further here.
Commissioner Rodriguez, I want to thank you for bringing this item forward. This commission has never shied away from the principle that every single resident of Pembroke Pines, regardless of their characteristics of birth or chance, are welcomed here and should be respected on equal terms. We have the same set of laws that apply to everyone, and there's no reason for there to be this kind of bigotry or racism or hatred of any kind in a city as diverse and beautiful as ours, where everybody really does get along. And while the state of Florida has created some new laws in that regard that don't go into effect until the beginning of this year, we do not require Tallahassee or anybody else to tell us what our conscience already tells us, which is that that respect for everyone, regardless of who they, how they pray, or how, where they're from, or what color they are, or their age, or who they love, or any of those other things. Here in Pembroke Pines, we stand up for the dignity of every human being, and they are accountable only to the law for their behavior, but not for their status as it relates to characteristics of birth or chance. We've done it before under the previous, there are two, actually, as I understand it, resolutions that are in effect that were passed by the previous commission. They've never been overturned by this commission. I hope they never are. And this adds to that. We did indeed pass an anti-Semitism resolution, and I hope that we will do this one as well. Everyone here is welcome. Everyone here is respected, and as the governing body of this city, it's important that we be on the record to say that everyone matters in our community. So I have no difficulty with your item. Anyone else wish to speak? Commissioner Good.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, thank you. I agree with modifying our anti-discrimination ordinance, rules, guidance, resolutions, whatever they may be, right? So I just want to make sure that the city attorney recognizes that any changes to the document does not conflict with any state statute, and it does not endorse any organization, and it does not involve any prohibited entity, because it is fully within our authority as a municipal government to affirm our commitment to resident safety and inclusion. I can tell you that our Muslim residents are part of the fabric of Pembroke Pines. We have teachers, doctors, veterans, business owners, students, and families who contribute to our city every day. And standing against discrimination towards them as well is simply just standing for our community. So I certainly support your motion or your discussion. You're bringing this forward, Commissioner Rodriguez. Thank you.
Mayor.
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum. I want to be clear from the outset. Will we go back, MTI's 11, 12 years maybe, right? Remember when I was called a threat to national security because I hugged an imam? Remember that? Remember when we didn't have iftar dinners in Broward County? Remember those days? Remember the days when, like I said, God forbid you sat down next to a Muslim and had a conversation and broke bread. But the truth is, I condemn hatred, intimidation, and discrimination on all levels. Anti-Semitism. It's been less than a year since I've been attacked on social media. We have an opportunity to embrace the reso that we've passed, 3698. to include all, whether you're a Muslim, a Jew, a Hindu, people of faith, people with no faith. They have every single right that everybody else does. So I'd like to be able to include that, people with no faith, City Attorney.
I hear you.
And just know that the city will continue to stand against hatred and discrimination. Mayor, I remember 2015, an 8-year-old boy attending Pines Middle who came up to me and said that he was being bullied in school because he's a Muslim. And I went to the parents, and the parents were afraid to speak out because they thought they were going to get horrific things done to them or their property. And that's 3 blocks away from here. Right inside the border, right inside the municipal boundary of Pembroke Pines. I remember knocking on the door, and an individual came out and says, well, I'll support you, Commissioner, if you get rid of that so-and-so 3 doors down from me. If we're going to redo this reso, we need to strengthen it, acknowledging that there is bigotry and hate and anti-Semitism and discrimination currently existing within our municipal boundary. Anything short of that, it's just words. So we can lead by example. We can stand with refugees who are being persecuted, trying to flee, requiring this commissioner to petition my own government to have a First Amendment speech in front of City Hall back in 2017 and get blasted by people you and I know, Mayor, in social media. So resolutions are only paper unless we act upon those words. This country is beautiful because all of us have the same goal: living in peace, freedom, raising a family. The United States of America is beautiful, but it's being torn apart by rhetoric. November is coming, and the rhetoric is going to get even worse. That's what concerns me, Commissioner Rodriguez. It's going to get worse. And the question is what are we going to do as neighbors to go, you know what? That's not acceptable here. Are we going to be a part of feeding the nonsense? Identify people, red, blue, purple, yellow, and green. Are we going to do that? That's not who we are in Pembroke Pines. That's not the neighbors who I know, the friends that I have. But they exist within our society. I don't want to get any more emotional than this, Mayor, so I'm going to stop right there.
Vice Mayor, anything?
No, I'm looking to Commissioner Rodriguez with whatever you'd like to motion. I'll second it. I just don't know
it's
what.
It's not a motion, it's just a discussion.
Yeah.
It's a directive.
I'm
all
sensing
are in
that we have consensus.
So we don't have to establish any
No,
wording or
no.
anything? Yeah,
They'll
I'm
come
in
back.
full support of you.
Listen, a lot of people say to me, what's happened to America and what's going on with all this hate and division? I have to tell you, America's just fine. She's waiting for us exactly where we left her. Hopeful that we'll come back. And that's why it's so important when we say to one another, when we say to young people, welcome to America, that those words mean something and that they don't mean the wrong thing. So I want to thank you, Commissioner Rodriguez, for coming forward with this. Mr. City Attorney, do you have all the guidance that you need?
If I may respond quickly, Mayor, yes.
Yes.
For the purpose, I've listened to each of the commission members and their discussion this evening, which are meaningful and important to us in the drafting and recrafting documents you've approved in the past. I also, to the credit of Commissioner Good, I'm wary and aware of the various statutes, rules, regulations, policies, edicts, and legal matters that you're aware of as well, which we'll consider very seriously as we craft a document that you can both live with legally, operationally, and for the benefit of the city of Pembroke Pines. We
And
will do
needless
that.
to say, passing this item similar to the anti-Semitism item or any other item that we've ever passed, we take no positions here, ever, on international conflicts. That's not our point. Our point is simply about being benevolent with one another, respectful with one another, regardless of a person's characteristics of birth or chance. And we have always been consistent that way without getting involved in any sort of taking sides or anything like that in international conflicts. That's well beyond this dais. So I don't want anyone to misunderstand the action that we're doing. We just all need to get along better. We need to shape up that way. And thank you, Mr. City Attorney. I think you have all the guidance.
And
you
thank
need.
you for the guidance this
And
evening
I
on the
appreciate-
public
and I-
record,
and
too. Thank you, Mayor.
again, Commissioner Rodriguez, for a very well thought out item.
Thank you, Mayor.
And with that consensus, we now have item 13. Commissioner Rodriguez, you are recognized again.
Thank you. So my item was simply to put on the table a discussion and request for an update from city administration. I asked administration a couple of questions in the document themselves, and I was hoping that they would have an update. I know that there was also some follow-up questions, so if somebody from staff can let us know how that texting program is working, how people can sign up, and then afterwards, make sure that we have that information rotated online. I know it is online and it's been published multiple times, but if we can continue to do that as well. So if,
Very well. Mr. Dodge? Yes, ma'am. Who's gonna present on item 13?
Amanda's here. She can present on that item.
Hello, Amanda
Hello.
Conwell, Division Director of Communications.
Commissioner?
So I had a couple questions on, let me go to my item actually, which I think a lot of them were explained within the Monday night memo, kind of in writing as well. But I wanted to ask, let me get there one second. So there is a program, the current emergency and then the non-emergency text messaging program that we have available to the city. If you can just speak on that, so we either have it on the record, we get an explanation, and then if we're able to share, obviously, in all sorts of communication, that would be greatly appreciated.
Right. Currently, the city utilizes a notification system called Alert Pembroke Pines. It's powered by Everbridge, which is contracted through the state's emergency management department. And through this system, we can push out both emergency and non-emergency notification systems. The emergency notification systems are set out citywide, so it goes to tens of thousands of residents that have information that links them to Pembroke Pines, and that emergency notifications are intended for anything that presents a safety concern.
And no one needs to opt into that one, right?
No, that's automatic.
Can you give us an example of what would be sent out in that manner?
Well, you might have received the alert in July. I posted, the city, since we've utilized the system, we've only posted a citywide emergency alert once, and that was when Flamingo Road and Pines Boulevard, westbound and northbound lanes were completely shut down. So I utilized the system to push out that notification because it's our most populated intersection. I thought it rose to a safety concern to both our first responders and any drivers traveling through the intersection. And so everyone who has any sort of connection to Pembroke Pines that's in the Everbridge system received that alert. My mother, who used to live in Pembroke Pines, who's now in Naples, received the alert. That's intended, though, for just emergency purposes, safety concerns. typically, I would not use it for traffic-related issues except for the specific location.
For the gravity of that one that,
Yes.
that you mentioned. And then there is the part that is opt-in. Can you talk a little bit about that? And then in the meantime, I believe you can sign up online. Mr. Clerk, would you be able to kind of show us online where that is? Or maybe Amanda can do it on there?
Certainly.
Just so that people know how to sign up for the opt-in one. That I assume is, my assumption and my understanding is that it's guided more to non-emergency
Yes.
scenarios.
If all are residents, they can go to ppines.com/alert Pembroke Pines, and they could sign up, input their contact information, whatever they prefer, their phone numbers, their emails, and they can choose once they sign up, they will automatically always get the emergency notifications, but there are now 3 categories for opt-in non-emergency notifications, and that includes city events, city services, and the new one, city traffic alerts.
Okay, awesome. I think I wanted to simply highlight that because we had been talking about it on the dais continuously regarding that a similar platform or something for text messaging because there's so much online. And I think, I mean, the consensus is and the trend is that now a lot of the more direct messaging that you need kind of like on a timely basis ends up being text messages. A lot of other cities have been able to use these services, and I believe it is at free cost, at least the emergency portion is, correct?
Yeah, from what I understand, and Dan Giustino might be able to fill you in more, but from what I understand, the Alert Pembroke Pines system is completely free of charge. We used to utilize Code Red, which we did pay for, but because Everbridge is contracted through the state, it is free of charge, from what I understand.
Okay, perfect. If you have anything to add to that.
Dan Giustino, Director, Emergency Management. Yeah, the grant is through 2029, so it's no charge. And that's for the emergency and non-emergency.
Okay, perfect. And would we be able to, I know we've mentioned in the past as well, like when projects are going on and there might be, a disruption on a particular road for a particular neighborhood, maybe we've talked on the dais, if they're road resurfacing or things like that, and that there's going to be a disruption in the space, that this text messaging program can also be used for that as well, correct?
So that's going to be non-emergency.
Yes, that's non-emergency in the
So
opt-in,
people-
but we
yeah, if
could.
they sign up for that, we even have templates already, as you saw.
Yes,
in the policy.
which I appreciate, yeah.
Yeah, and if you're already signed up for our opt-in notifications, I have been utilizing the system regularly since June for disruptions of bulk waste pickup and things of that nature, announcements of city commission meetings, city events. So we very highly recommend residents to opt in.
Okay, so I wanted to bring the discussion because I think within, our professional capacity and then also our personal capacities online to be able to promote this as much as possible because it's only really as useful as however many people sign up and opt into it. And I wanted obviously to bring attention to it, and that's why I put it on the agenda. So if we can continuously always online and on social media be able to communicate that we have this communication system, which I think not necessarily innovative, because we all have text messages and we've been using that, but it really slims down all the kind of constant barrage of information that we get on social media. And this is very particular, and we can geo-target for specific circumstances. So I think it's a wonderful system and program that the city is able to provide with a grant free of cost until 2029. After that, we'll figure out, hopefully the grant continues, but I just wanted to highlight that for the public and for all of us to be able to promote as well.
Excellent. Excellent presentation.
Thank
you very much for the item. Anyone else have any questions about this? Okay. Let's get to item 14. Commissioner Schwartz.
Thank you, Mayor. Discussion and possible action to direct city attorney to draft an ordinance amending section 155.510 of the city's land development code currently references domesticated livestock and poultry to include provisions for the management of livestock waste. In the backup, staff has provided some language for us to consider, and if you have any questions about that language, Mr. Stam is available.
Are there any questions? Did you have a motion to make?
I wanted to move it.
Okay, is there a second? Is there a second?
before you say die for lack of a second, the purpose of this is to protect the public from horse manure, waste, properly using the appropriate storage bins, how you manage it to prevent runoff. And this came forward from a discussion, I think I did it back in May or June, I believe.
Yes, all that's in the backup.
Most of it's in the backup. So I would ask my colleagues for a second.
Okay, is there a second? Is there a second? Item dies for lack of a second. Item 15, Commissioner Schwartz.
All right. Okay, 15. Let's see how this one goes. Discussion and possible action to review the administration's previously pulled enforcement agenda item. I have Mr. City Attorney Brian Sherman. I'd like for him to come down. Please, thank you. This one's a little bit unique. This was not commission-driven back in 2024. This was prepared by administration, placed on an agenda in Q4 of 2024, and subsequently pulled by the administration for a reason that has not really been quite explained in the public view. Colleagues, as you know, I've sat down with code enforcement now 3 times this year, once in January, again in February, and the last time without Mr. Sherman's presence because he wasn't included in the invite. That would have been in July. So the city manager, city administration was asked on all 3 of those meetings when and if the item would ever come back for the commission to debate. Am I doing good so far, Mr. Sherman, City Attorney?
Mr. Mayor,
okay.
if I may address that?
Yes, Mr. City Manager.
I just want clarity that the item was pulled because it was never discussed with me. Normally, if you're the policy of the commission, if there is going to be an ordinance change, there has to be a motion to direct the city attorney to do so. I was not involved in any of those meetings concerning this item, and that was the reason it was pulled. It was indicated that this item should have been brought forward asking for the city attorney's office to prepare an item regarding these code enforcement issues. And that's all we're waiting for. If that's brought forward and there's direction given to the city commission, I don't believe it came from code itself. I was informed that there were suggestions that were made. I know our city attorney, Brian, was involved in it, I heard after the fact. But I think the proper way would have been, this item should have been placed on the agenda to instruct the city attorney to prepare an ordinance with some direction to them, and then that ordinance would come back to the commission so you'd have an opportunity to hear what the issues are and to discuss it and vote on it at that time.
All right, so if I thank you, City Attorney, for your recollection. What I recall hearing in the meeting in January of this year, and again in February of this year, was that it was pulled to give Chief Vargas an opportunity to review the policy as the incoming chief. At those 2 meetings, I had inquired the city manager to review the information, and here we are just about September, and I had to put it on because we haven't had any movement. Basically, I'm going to give the microphone to the City Attorney Sherman, but without stealing his thunder, our magistrates, there's 3 of them, would have another tool in their toolbox to address repeat offenders. If we were to take Mr. Ross's polling, public does not have the majority of confidence in our code enforcement. It basically ran in the mid to high 40s. Looking at that, I had pressed to, I learned at the end of the meeting 2 weeks ago, I was requested, if this is going to come up, I need to put it on. So it's here because I've asked the administration 3 times to bring it forward, and now they said that if you want to discuss it, you need to bring it forward. Now we're hearing that the city attorney's office never reviewed it, but I don't know how that's even possible considering that staff prepared an ARF. We have 2 exhibits with strikeouts. Staff didn't do that. I mean, maybe staff did it,
I don't get this.
but here's the thing. It's not the dollar amount. Like I'm not fixated on one value of how much a fine should be. What I recognize is that we made an adjustment for other items within our city policies because $10 today is a lot less money than it was 10 years ago. And we clearly do not have the attention of repeat offenders when it comes to cleaning up their property, coming into compliance. And the magistrate has the ability, if this city were to allow them to do so, to look at some other options. Mr. Sherman, can you fill in can you please address the commission on, we have 2 items here. We have Exhibit 1, I believe is an actual proposed ordinance or whereas clause. Staff didn't do that. There's code, there's underlines. Staff did not do that. Somebody had to prepare that. As the city attorney over code, do you have any recollection on how Exhibit 1 and 2 showed up on an item that was pulled off an agenda back in Q4 of 2024? Do you have any recollection how that happened?
Mr. Mayor, may I? Please. This item.
Tell the record who you are, Mr. Sherman, please.
Yes. Brian Sherman, Assistant City Attorney. This item was discussed back in code a number of years ago through Mr. Diaco, who was the then director. We've had multiple discussions yearly as this particular provision has existed in Florida law for some time. Through those discussions, we were asked to at least put together something for discussion. Then as far as through that instruction, understanding it still needed to go to commission, we did so. I'm the one who drafted this particular document as far as putting that together. As to why it was pulled or anything that happened after submitted over to Mr. Diaco, I'd have to defer to Mr. Dodge.
All right, so the city's attorney's office did it in preparation, just like
You never do that.
in order to have a discussion. But that discussion wasn't
Well,
allowed because the administration pulled it. So, City Manager Dodge, we have a product produced. Give us the opportunity to discuss it.
Go and see him.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, I have to restate it. The procedure before the commission, if there's an item that is to be presented and drafted as an ordinance, it first must be presented to the commission to discuss, then the city attorney prepares it, and then you consider it as a vote. This was totally inappropriate. The police chief wasn't aware of it. I wasn't aware of it. No one consulted or even presented any of these ideas to me. Some of these fines, I think, are absolutely ridiculous, as to expect a homeowner to be fined up to $1,000 per day for a violation of the first violation, as I'm reading right here. As we know, the purpose for code is compliance. It's not a fine. It's not to penalize somebody. And usually those who have these violations, if it was for not cutting their grass or maintaining their property or painting their house, is probably because they didn't have the resources to do it. And now you're looking at putting fines that are, in my opinion, are ridiculous. So I suggested before this item come on that there be an item to direct the city attorney to prepare something with ideas that the commissioner would have, and then once you do that, it's incorporated. We never present an ordinance that has not been directed to do so by the commission. And it was out of place. It wasn't discussed with the administration. If a staff person did it at someone's request, I don't know whose request it was at, but it certainly wasn't from my office. So I think this evening there's nothing wrong with changing this motion to instruct the city attorney to prepare something based on a recommendation by a commissioner and bring it back to the commission for consideration.
Yeah,
Because that's not on the agenda this
Yeah,
evening.
I just want to say, because, and I'm trying very, very hard to be as kind about this as I can, but there's been a certain pattern of items placed before this commission agenda which have not been vetted by staff. And I believe that even though we have 2 new members, we have all been here long enough to know that we rely on professional staff to assist us in organizing presentations before the commission. And with respect to this matter, that was not done. The city manager wasn't talked to, the police chief wasn't talked to, I don't know who else was talked to, I don't know how this came up, I've never seen it before. Substantively, I am not in fine increase mode from $250 to $500 or $1,000. I'm simply not. I mean, that's just not in my judgment a thing that has any sense of place or time right now. And in my State of the City speech, I made note of the fact that 80% of all code compliance concerns in the community, whether they're violation or warning, 80% are voluntarily resolved. And while I hear a lot of stuff out there about code compliance and all this other kind of stuff, people are very slow to pick up the phone and call it in. And but they want to complain about the community. And then when we pass things like don't park on your lawn, they call us all kinds of names because we're enforcing this don't park on the lawn stuff. Just a quick vignette. I remember a phone call that I got from a lady in Pines Village, where it's happening less and less now. She wanted to sell her house, and she had a good price, and she had a homeowner that was looking to buy her house to live there. But her neighbor had 3 trucks and 2 broken down cars parked on the lawn. And she looked at that and said, I love your house. It's a great price, but I can't live like this. And that person lost the sale because we don't have a sense of standards. So we went to staff. It was done in the right way, and we created some new rules. Now all of a sudden people are complaining because they can't park their car on the lawn anymore. I mean, it's enough to tear your hair out. And, you know, so if we want to have a conversation about code enforcement, I think we should. If there's an appetite for more fines, much less what I'm looking at here in thousands of dollars, if someone wants to have that discussion, we should have it. But let's vet these items through the staff. I'm sick and tired of staff saying, I never heard this before. No one ever contacted me. We have people here who are responsible for assets and money. Go and see them. And then bring an item that is vetted so that we can have this discussion. I am not prepared to do anything with this
Yeah,
item tonight.
and neither am I, Mayor, so
Good.
let me just follow up. If we can, if the clerk can pull up the actual ARF, the very first page. So I know that we have a really good IT department. This file was created on January the 13th, 2025. Clearly, somebody stuck it in there. So now we know who put it in there. We don't know who prepared it, but we at least know who uploaded it. Number two, it was on our agenda on the 5th of February, 2025.
Well, it says.
It was
hold
on
It
the
says
agenda, and then
hold
it
on,
got pulled.
Hold on. It says in control, this is city commission. Did the city commission order this item?
It's in first stat, no. The city commission did not order it.
So this is just a created agenda request form, Mr. City Manager, that was never presented to us?
That's correct, Mayor.
Okay, so you're looking at some draft, and what is your point?
Well, the manager had concerns of how it got there. Mayor, you said that you never saw it before.
I don't know how it got here.
Well, listen.
Mayor,
it doesn't matter how
it was on our agenda and it was pulled.
It didn't go through the administration. It was never before us.
We don't control the agenda items. The city manager does.
Okay,
when he
commission
pushes
items,
All
sir.
right, look. Commissioner, if you
So
wish to bring the item back.
If the manager would like us to
hold
come
on,
back, go ahead,
hold
finish.
on. If you wish to bring this item back after it's vetted with staff, we're duty bound to entertain it. But staff have to be met with, the police chief has to be met with, the director of code has to be met with, the city attorney should be part of that. If you want to bring an item to raise the fines.
If I want to bring an item to
whatever.
discuss code enforcement,
Okay.
that's one thing. Don't put words in my mouth.
No.
I didn't.
I'm
this
looking
is-
at what I'm reading.
This
what
is
you're
not my
referring
item.
to.
This is not my item.
Okay, all right.
I did not.
If
This
you
is not
wish
my
to
item to
bring an
raise
item-
anything on anybody.
Hold on. If you wish to bring an item, meet with staff, vet your item, and bring it back, okay? Thanks. We're now on item 16. Commissioner, Vice Mayor.
Sam, I really want to thank you for making this the longest possible item ever. Sorry, folks.
I did as you asked, Mr. Vice Mayor.
Okay, Vice Mayor Michael Hernandez, item number 1. As our city attorney advised us in the city attorney's office memo number 2026-077, dated 6/26/2026, attached hereto, the governor vetoed Senate Bill 382, which sought to regulate micromobility devices / e-bikes or electronic bikes by amending section 316.20655 FS. The bill would have established crash reporting requirements for police departments and certain statewide operating requirements for e-bikes on shared pathways, sidewalks, or on pedestrian areas. Notwithstanding the veto, and given a clear proliferation of the use of e-bikes, e-scooters, and related micromobility devices by not just the general population of adults, but also a significant number of minor children, and publicized evidence of debilitating injuries, accidents, and significant life safety issues and impacts affecting this proliferation, I will respectfully seek the following from the mayor, our city commission, and our city administration. Number 1, motion to authorize and to direct the city's police department professionals via the city manager to provide a public review and report to the mayor and city commission in the near term as to the existence and use of e-bikes and related devices within the city of Pembroke Pines, and an analysis recommendation to better protect the public health and safety necessitated by the ongoing proliferation of such devices in our community. And number 2, motion to authorize and to direct the city attorney's office to review viable and lawful legislative alternatives for city commission consideration as to the potential regulation of e-bikes and related micromobility devices to protect best the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens and residents of the city of Pembroke Pines and others who may utilize the city of Pembroke Pines' public streets, highways, sidewalks, and parks.
Okay. So, without objection, I'm gonna combine the two motions. If someone wants to bifurcate them, let me know. So the motion number 1 and motion number 2 are made. Is there a second for discussion?
Second, and I'd like to have a discussion add to this, though. I mean, this is
Right,
very good.
yeah.
I mean, this is really, if I may, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, please.
So, thank you. So I can tell you that it was very disappointing to see that the governor vetoed an action taken by legislation to deal with an issue that's starting to take over our communities. And the state was probably the best level to manage this particular concern. So, Vice Mayor, is what you put here is an excellent start. I 100% support all this review. I also would like to ask if you can consider adding something that would also incorporate what are other cities doing in the area. This really is a regional problem. It's not a city problem, because you could be driving something. We could make a law here, go into Miramar, and it's not a law there, or vice versa. Hollywood, Cooper City, any one of these other cities that border us, it really becomes, and this is the crux of the problem. It's got to be a regional type of thing. And I mean, we're having some discussions at the MPO level type of thing, but this is really, really good. I mean, we really need to understand what it is, how it is impacting our city, but we also need to understand what are other cities doing in regards to this, and try to, dovetail, whatever we want to do with what other people are doing, or, just maybe go and do a presentation to them and asking them to consider adopting something that we might adopt.
Right.
So I just ask that you incorporate some form of regionalization into this into the language here as well.
I'm happy to do that. I did want to note, because you mentioned it. So Senate Bill 382 was passed not on a bipartisan basis, but unanimously. Now, I don't know if folks pay attention to what happens in Tallahassee. Those folks up there never vote unanimously on any legislation. It was a unanimous vote. Governor DeSantis on, I believe it was June 25th or 26th, vetoed it. Sometimes I can understand where the governor's coming from. Sometimes I can't. This one I can't. Ultimately, to Commissioner Good's point, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but there are often times that we are upset with Tallahassee preempting us, but then there are other times where uniformity, because to your point, you can go down 184th, close by where I live, and after you've crossed Pembroke Road, you're in the city of Miramar. Or they, vice versa, come through our city. And if you don't have uniformity, it's challenging. I know that Mr. Gorin can talk about, I believe it's Cooper City, I believe it's possibly Coral Springs, also Commissioner Rodriguez mentioned. So this is a starting point, right? And I don't have the answers, okay? I'm obviously not law enforcement. I think law enforcement, Mr. Dodge has something they could present.
Yes, the police department has something.
Right, Pembroke Pines Police Department. I know, Mr. Mayor, our neighbor and constituent, Al Salvi's back there, and I know he's passionate about the issue and wanted to mention something. I just don't know where.
We're going to have discussion, then I'm going to bring Al.
Okay, but to just close this point, if you don't know a lot about Senate Bill 382, I think it's important to note nobody's banning any of these vehicles. Okay. My 10-year-old daughter said, "Daddy, are you trying to take my friend's e-bikes and e-scooters away?" And I said, "No, honey, Alyssa, I am not. What I am simply trying to do is we have to protect the drivers and operators of the e-bikes and the e-scooters, drivers like me that will get in a car and drive home when I leave here, and pedestrians." Now, I don't have the answers as to how we do that. I am not smart enough to know that, okay? But I do want our esteemed police department, which does a wonderful job at traffic management. By the way, thanks for the first 2 weeks of school traffic. I know it's hard. Thank you for what you all have done. But on school traffic, you have these issues with these vehicles. Some are not adhering. Some of them, first of all, you're supposed to only be about 750 watts. I don't know how. Some go above the 750 watts, above what normally the limit on the machine is 28 miles an hour. I mean, there are some that are going at higher velocity than 28 miles an hour. I believe part of what was going to be required in this bill was reducing speed, a requirement to reduce speed to 10 miles an hour on sidewalks within 50 feet of pedestrians. This is the bill that the governor vetoed. Now, here's the most challenging part. There are no licenses required to operate the vehicle. However, oh, by the way, no age restriction. So you are supposed to, and if you look at the material generously provided to me by Pembroke Pines Police, but also through the city attorney's office, you are supposed to adhere to the safety rules of the road. Okay. If you are 12 years old and have never sat for a driver's license, I'm not sure how you're really going to, you're ineligible to do so. How are you going to be familiar with the rules of the road? And that's a big part of it. I appreciate very much because, like I said, I see kids riding it, but there has to be some kind of guardrails before they get injured, before a vehicular driver injures them or injures themselves because of an accident that takes place. We did have, and I don't want to violate HIPAA, et cetera, but I know we had two young kids out in the western part of Pembroke Pines, I believe it was the first day of school, who were injured on these e-bikes or e-scooters. So I understand that there's a great deal of legality that our wonderful city attorney's office can help us work through. But what I meant, why I wanted to bring this now, first of all, is because the governor vetoed this legislation after we had entered summer recess on the city commission. Our final meeting was June 17th. He vetoed it about 8 or 9 days later. Therefore, we couldn't meet. And also, I was hopeful that we would have some progress on this in Tallahassee. And I applaud our legislators. I don't, for passing it. I don't quite understand why the governor vetoed it. So I meant this as a starting point for discussion, kicking it to the experts in our police department, our attorneys, and also as a point that there are folks who are either watching or will watch or contact our city commission, et cetera, who have expressed ongoing concerns. And I just feel that it's incumbent upon us to, at a minimum, start the process to see how it is that we could better protect those drivers, those pedestrians. One is here that will speak to his experience at the appropriate time. I appreciate, Commissioner Good, your comments. And again, I'm looking to my colleagues for support and to the experts for guidance. Thank you.
Does anyone else wish to be heard on this item?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez.
I believe in theory and the safety, obviously, we'd want to protect all of our residents. But I want to flag and mention that e-bikes and these scooters are sometimes a very reliable source of mobility for some of our residents who cannot afford cars, maybe too young to afford or too young to drive cars, things like that. So and you guys hear me talk about it all the time, the lack of transportation opportunity and transportation options within the city of Pembroke Pines is obviously a regional issue through the county and something that we've all continuously looked to work on. I understand the wanting to make the regulation so that it is safer for our community to be able to use these vehicles in a sense, but I don't want to be as punitive as to people being scared to use them in the correct way. So setting forth the right regulation, possibly limiting for children and the speed and things like that. But there are plenty of people who use them because cars are very expensive. Obviously, gasoline is very expensive. And this is it's a way that some people have been getting around, and they have grown in popularity because of the ease that you can get around without actually, pedaling the bike. If you're going to be using like a regular bike. So I just want us to be able to have that in mind as well and not simply go as far as to, obviously the goal isn't to ban, but to over-regulate what some people use as their only source of mobility to get to and from work. So wanted to flag that and mention, I think Coral Springs has also talked about this, in particular, I think Josh Simmons has. opened up the conversation there. So balancing the safety, but also the protection of our residents to be able to get to and from where they need to go, especially in the hot sun. You don't want to actually pedal a regular bike sometimes. It's very useful to have these e-bikes that allow you to get places. So want to make sure that we're flagging that and not being punitive.
Anyone else?
Sure. Vice Mayor, in preparation of the item, did you have an opportunity to speak to our police department?
I think they're tired of speaking to me on this subject. So there were multiple conversations going back to, well, first of all, since last year, and then again in June, and then again recently. And I don't want to speak for the chief, but we were all hopeful that there would be some guidance from Tallahassee or some regulation from Tallahassee. And again, unfortunately, the governor vetoed it. So yes, I've been in contact both with Chief Vargas, his command staff, City Manager Dodge, and of course, Mr. Sherman. I don't know where he went now, but Mr. Sherman and Mr. Gorin.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. So if the governor hadn't vetoed it, it would have been a moving violation?
Commissioner, the text is there in the Senate bill. If you have legal questions, you can direct them to Mr. Gorin.
Mr. Gorin, is it a moving violation had it passed?
Depends upon who you ask. May I respond, Mayor?
Yes, good.
There was no specific reference to that in the bill.
So would it be a code enforcement, City Attorney?
It would be a violation of state law that violated Chapter 316, and that's an issue that all bicycles and e-bikes are classified the same way.
Okay, so like I'm just looking at the execution of
Same
it.
rules, if I may, the same rules of the road apply to bicycles, apply to e-bikes. The problem is with e-moto bikes, which are something far different, much faster.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if the enforcement side of it
Police matter.
would if it hadn't been vetoed, it would have been a police matter. If we're looking at doing something in-house, it becomes a code enforcement matter. Would
No,
that,
not necessarily.
can I have the city attorney respond,
Go
please?
ahead.
Thank you.
Mayor, if I can respond, the answer is that depending on how the drafting occurs and how I'm directed to prepare it consistent with the law as exists today, the regulation would be essentially a police issue.
Okay.
And how
Is that
that's-
the intent? I mean, City Attorney, are you hearing that you would, with direction from the commission, that you would make it police enforcement action?
I could actually answer that because it's my item. So my intent, and I need my colleagues' support on this, is not to have our code enforcement out policing these vehicles, and I certainly appreciate what Commissioner Rodriguez said, which is why I'm certainly not looking for any kind of over-regulation, just safety. But no, I don't think, I want code enforcement going to homes that are violating code. I don't want code enforcement chasing down folks who are driving either irresponsibly, above a speed limit, or where they shouldn't be. I believe this should be a law enforcement matter. I believe the chief is perfectly capable of coming back, which is what the item is asking. The item is asking, you're asking questions about something that we have the ability to direct administration to come back with. So the answers to what you're saying are actually looking at each of us and determining what we would like the administration to return with. So I would like it to be a law enforcement matter. I don't want our code enforcement out actually regulating this. I think our police officers, especially our amazing traffic division, and what it is that they do on a daily basis, Monday to Friday within our schools, where a lot of these vehicles are. I see them every day dropping my children off or picking them up, or when I'm jogging and I've almost been hit myself with someone going probably above 28 miles an hour. I would like this to be a law enforcement issue.
Okay, so
Anything else?
yeah, just to follow up with the vice mayor, when the item first came forward to us, it was incomplete, so I asked for it to be resent. And when I'm reading potential regulation, just for the record, just looking for clarification, law enforcement. That's all. If it had included law enforcement, then I wouldn't have had to ask.
Sir,
the
I
question.
believe you're referring to a technical error that was made by our administrative assistant that didn't put all of the information in the first time within 30 seconds of being notified, I believe, by the city attorney, if I'm not mistaken, in an email chain. You could request the emails, they're public record. She immediately added the rest of the text. So that's a non-issue.
Anything else?
No, I just don't like the waving of the hand, that's all. Vice Mayor, we have decorum.
Thanks.
Thank
Okay,
you.
let me sort of weigh in on this. You know, when stuff like this comes up, I tend to be resistant to legislating quickly. I think that there's a Jeffersonian streak in me, that the government that governs best governs least. Let the people figure this thing out if they can. This business with the e-bikes has gotten dangerous. It's gotten dangerous for adults that drive. It's gotten dangerous for adults that use them. It's gotten dangerous for kids that use them. We're hearing more and more about it. Chief Vargas, I had a chat with our good friend, Chief Souza. I remember him from his Fort Lauderdale days, but I don't know if he's North Bay Village or Key Biscayne. That's where it is. And they don't have a lot of lights in Key, huh? They had to regulate it because they had deaths. And, you know, cars were hitting these things. This is a step down from a moped, is what we're talking about here. Huh? And sometimes a step up, depending on what you buy. I am disappointed, Vice Mayor, that this was vetoed. It's necessary. It's necessary for safety. We're not saying don't use the vehicle. I don't even know if it's a vehicle. Well, I guess it is. We're not saying that. We're saying it's got to be used safely. There have to be some rules, especially for children. I see kids pulling wheelies on these things. You know, making believe that that they're motorcycles and they're doing wheelies. It's unsafe. And but I agree with what Commissioner Rodriguez said, which is, you know, let's not go crazy with this. Let's figure out what's prudent, do that. Ordinances can always be amended. They can always be strengthened. But at the same time, I mean, you know, these kinds of things have been used in Europe forever. You know, mopeds and Vespas and all of that. I mean, and they don't have the kind of abuses that we've seen here on terrain that is, frankly, much more dangerous than ours. So I want to support this, and I want to thank you, Vice Mayor, for bringing it forward, because it definitely solves the problem. It is a police problem. If you see someone on a bike in a road breaking the law, that's a police matter. That's not a code matter. And I tell people, you know, when you see that, call 911. And they don't want to call 911. Well, if you don't participate in the partnership, you can't be satisfied with the outcome. You know, they want to blog immediately. You know, oh, I saw a bunch of kids. As if blogging it makes it. People don't understand, and the police chief can explain it to you even better than I can. There are patterns to things. When you report it to 911, it gets recorded, the time, the date, all of that. And when they see a pattern, when his crime analysts see a pattern, when his safety specialists see a pattern, they know how to deploy people based on patterns. That's why it's important to report these. Anything that you see that is a danger or a crime, pick up the phone and report it so that they can understand how to manage around those patterns, because they tend to be repetitive. So anyway, I think the Commissioner Good's point is also well taken. City Attorney, I don't know how but we should get a list of at least local efforts to regulate these e-bikes. If there are, I would even say just the Tri-County area, you know, what those ordinances look like. I don't know, sir, how you would go about that, but if it's out there and we can search for it, and there's some best practices out there in terms of ordinances. And I know that our police department is a very creative one, and they will take a look at this, and they will take a look at the best practices and come back, hopefully, Vice Mayor, with something you can really be proud of. We could all be proud of.
And I have a question, Mayor, because I know the police department had a very short presentation. Do you all, would you like to see that, or you just want to direct administration? It's your call.
I don't need to see it.
So they don't want it. You're good. You're off the hook.
I think, yeah,
could we, I don't know if you're opening it up for.
How long
Mr.
is the presentation? Come on up.
Oh, okay, well.
Yeah, I'm going to get to Al.
Sergeant William Sands, Pembroke Pines Police Department. I'm currently one of the 2 supervisors of our traffic division, previously assigned to our community affairs unit, and prior to my promotion to sergeant, I was assigned to the traffic division as an officer from 2016 to 2019. So first off, just like to say thank you for allowing us, inviting us to present this information. We're confident that it's going to answer most, if not all, the questions you've already presented or plan to, as well as provide some insight to the community, especially parents who have either already purchased these vehicles or were planning to. As well as provide some clarification on misconceptions or confusion about this topic. Vice Mayor Hernandez, as you mentioned, there is a clear proliferation and increased popularity in electric mobility devices, especially with electric scooters and electric bicycles. And as Commissioner Rodriguez mentioned, that's due to their affordability and the convenience provided by being able to travel not only further, but faster with much less effort. And that is why we're seeing them much more frequently within the community. What we are seeing in the police department is an increase in 2 separate groups that appear to be mistakenly categorized under the same classification as, quote, e-bikes. And City Attorney Sam Gorin mentioned it before. There's actually 2 separate groups. There's e-bikes that we've been speaking about, but there's also what is more commonly referred to as e-motos. Those are electric motorcycles, and that's exactly what they are. They're motorcycles. So, Commissioner Hernandez, as you mentioned, there's no licensing or registration or insurance requirements for electric bicycles or e-bikes because that's exactly what they are. They're just bicycles.
And that's by state law.
Yes, by definition in state law.
That's not something we could create.
Correct. By the definition of an electric bicycle is already established in state law.
Thank you.
So some of the criteria for a device to be considered an electric bicycle, it must have pedals. It must not exceed 750 watts of power output, and it must have a saddle, like a traditional bicycle. So as we mentioned, that can be operated by all ages, just like a bicycle with training wheels can be operated by a toddler all the way up to an adult riding a competitive bicycle. There's no additional endorsements required, and they can operate anywhere that bicycles can, whether that's in the roadway or on the sidewalk and so forth. E-motorcycles or e-motos, on the other hand, are motor vehicles. Bicycles are not motor vehicles. While they are classified as vehicles by state statute, they're not motor vehicles. Because electric motorcycles are motor vehicles, they do have registration and licensing and insurance requirements, and sometimes a motorcycle endorsement. They can only ride on the streets. They cannot be ridden on the sidewalks, and they exceed well above 20 miles per hour, sometimes in excess of 50 and 60 miles per hour. So that's actually what we're seeing. The dangerous aspect that we're seeing more of is the e-motos being operated, and mostly by juveniles, which I'll get into here shortly. So just some basics on e-bikes. There's 3 classifications, and that depends on the power output of the device. The Class 1 is a pedal assist only. That means that when the cyclist stops pedaling, the electronic assistance of the motor ceases. Max speed is 20 miles per hour. Class 2, there can be a pedal assist or a throttle, also max speed of 20 miles per hour. And then your Class 3 is pedal assist only with a max speed of 28 miles per hour. So there are specific statutes in state law that regulate the modification of these devices to exceed those classified speed limits, and there are traffic violation that can be enforced if it is determined that they have been modified to exceed those speed limit regulations. Just like bicycles, they are restricted by the same guidelines. They have to obey all traffic signals, all traffic signs, stop at red lights, use signals to indicate a change of direction or a lane change, yield to pedestrians, same equipment requirements, lighting, brakes, etc. And the helmet requirements are the same as bicycles. They must be utilized by riders that are under 16 years of age.
Spoiler alert, in West Pines, none of them wear helmets.
Yeah.
So again, just to reiterate, they are subject to speed limit requirements on roadways, sidewalks, etc. And the added danger comes from that added speed. In comparison, the average bicyclist rides at 12 miles per hour. So here's some local statistics just from the city of Pembroke Pines between August of last year and August of this year. Traffic crashes involving electric bicycles, there's been a total of 14. You'll notice that the location of that crash, between the crosswalk and intersection and roadway, it adds up to more than 14. That's because some of those crashes that occurred within a crosswalk were also within an intersection. In those crashes, half of them, the contributing party was the driver of the vehicle, and the other half, the contributing party, was the operator of the electric bicycle. Injuries were sustained in 13 of the 14, 8 were transported to the hospital, and you see the ages of the riders listed there on the third to last category. Now this is data specifically towards the electronic motorcycles. Same time frame, August of last year to this August. There's been 5 crashes, all on the mostly on the roadway. All 5 were transported, or I'm sorry, all 5 were injured. And again, as I mentioned before, most of these operators are juveniles, unlicensed, unexperienced juveniles operating what is considered motor vehicles that should be registered. So here's some initiatives that the police department has already implemented. The traffic division specifically has received specialized training from FDOT. That is through the University of North Florida's Institute of Police Technology and Management. This information has already been shared with our agency personnel. The reference materials that we obtain annually include our quick reference traffic violation guides that contain information on e-bike classifications, their privileges and their restrictions. I believe that's been provided to you for your reference. Online resources have been provided through our Office of Communications, where we've shared numerous posts on all of our social media platforms regarding e-bike safety regulations, and that information has also been added to the city website. The traffic unit has recently deployed our variable message signs throughout the city, alerting the public about the availability of that information and where to find it. And we have recently improved our means of collecting the data so that we can more accurately determine traffic crash statistics that specifically deal with electric bicycles. Our future objectives is to provide additional training to our personnel by visiting each patrol shift and provide information on legal updates, education enforcement options, and common violations. We also, in the traffic division, plan to have some coordinated operations along with our neighborhood safety team, the Strategic Traffic Operations Unit, to focus education and enforcement efforts towards bicyclists, pedestrians, and drivers, in addition to the electric motorcycle riders. The literature that was also provided to you this evening that has some tips, safety tips, information, and again, just some clarification on the legalities between electric bicycles and electric motorcycles have also been provided out in the lobby if anyone would like to grab a copy on their way out. And finally, partnering with our schools. This information has already been disseminated through our school resource officers, provided to both parent and students through their communication platforms, And again, just asking the administrations through the school system to help us push out this information. That being said, this is really an education initiative to let people know that primarily the electric motorcycles should not be operated by juveniles, cannot be operated by juveniles, and then just providing some information to existing and future electric bicycle riders for how to most safely operate and navigate the roadways.
Sergeant Sands, this is great
Thank you.
stuff.
Thank you.
You did a great job with this, and Chief and staff, outstanding, very, very, very good. I think that we're onto something here that is actually doable and will be workable, Vice Mayor, and that we can really get this done. I am sort of interested in knowing, City Attorney, not now, but as you give this some thought, how we can sort of intervene, not necessarily, if not legally, then persuasively in some way, to get to the parents of children that use these.
The e-moto, you mean?
Yeah.
That you can't be, you have to be 16.
Yeah, and
Correct.
to let them know what the rules are that do exist, and how to stay safe, and whether we can take this material, which is very valuable, and also convert it into some sort of, website-driven kind of video that the parents can ask kids to watch, before they get on one of these things. Those are the kinds of things that I think make a difference, is when we explain to folks, okay, you got an e-bike, you're going to have a lot of fun. Here's how to do it safely. And here's how to use this tool in a safe manner. And here are what the rules are, because when you get on one of these things, you take on certain responsibilities under the law. And to make sure that they know the rules, that they're using the rules, so that, we can go out there and get it done. And soon I asked for a report on civil citation. I know that that's going to come soon. They're working it up because I wanted to hear an update on where we're at right now. I don't want to see a million arrests unless they're absolutely warranted. And I know that we have the kind of police department that wouldn't do that unless they had to. But police are very, very good at putting together a little gang of kids who are misbehaving on these conveyances, and saying, hey, there are rules here. You have to follow. And the rules, you should follow them not just because they're rules. You should follow them voluntarily because it could save your life, or the life of your friend, or someone else's life. And so they really need to know this kind of thing. When you get on one of these things, even if you get on a bicycle, you need to know what the rules are. So Vice Mayor, I'm all for it. I think there are ways to do this, to do it right, to do it properly. And while I agree that this is best done statewide, maybe one day soon it will be, because sadly I think the continued growth in this particular industry is strong, and that unfortunately, if people aren't careful, there are going to be more people who will be hurt, and maybe this will come back in some other way. So, does anyone have anything else before we go?
I just wanted to mention that the county themselves are working through their micromobility task force as well on this, in partnership with FDOT. Might be valuable. Obviously, some of these pamphlets are FDOT oriented, so I know that the county is working. They have a specific task force for that, and mostly on the regulation of both. So when we link up to talk about a more regional approach, the county has that resource as well.
Wonderful, good catch. Anybody else? All right, Mr. Salvi, can you come down? Good job, Bill.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Commission, Vice Mayor Hernandez, City Manager, City Attorney, and City
Your name
Clerk.
and address for the record, please.
My name is Al Salvi. I'm a Silver Lakes resident. Been with Pines about 15 years now. I'm here proudly
Is he
standing
on, Bill?
by Sergeant Sands.
William, is he on?
Yes. I'm proudly standing by Sergeant Sands and our great Pembroke Pines Police Department for their enforcement. I'm an e-scooter rider. My e-scooter rides at 40 miles an hour, okay? I do it every day. I ride up and down Pines. I ride up and down Pembroke Road. I'm all over Pines with this scooter. I see a lot of recklessness driving going on right now with these e-motorbikes on these 12-year-olds, doing wheelies on sidewalks, around pedestrians, which, by the way, was going to be limited to 10 miles an hour until it was vetoed by Governor DeSantis, which, to this moment, I still don't understand that. The reason I feel so strongly, and I'm supporting my Vice Mayor 100% on this, is because I visit hospitals every day. I go visit catastrophic injuries. 80% of the injuries I visit at these rehab hospitals are motorcycles and bike accidents. You would think, right? Gunshots and all these other things that happen, pool diving and all that. 80% have to do with motorcycle knockdowns, bicycle crashes with vehicles, and they end up like me. And I really would hate to be the parent that has to go visit their 12-year-old, their 11-year-old in a hospital because they got hit on their e-motor going 50, 60 miles an hour, which, by the way, that's how fast some of these go. Because if I'm going 40 and they're going by me, they got to be going 50, 60. And we're talking about a 12-year-old doing wheelies in the middle of the street, which has no clue about road safety because they're not licensed, and neither is the equipment. It doesn't have to be registered, doesn't have to be tagged. And I just find it absurd that you got a 60-mile-an-hour vehicle being ridden on the road with children that are 12 years old that have no road rules and don't understand the dangers. And there's zero accountability. Why are the parents allowing that? First of all, I wouldn't even get a Class 3 vehicle that's going 60 miles an hour for my 12-year-old. So the accountability starts at the parent at the home. Why would they even buy that? So my question is, I always tell Mike, it's not a question of if, it's when and how many. Because I visit them all the time, and I see these 18 to 24-year-olds, in most cases, paralyzed for the rest of their life because they did something stupid on a motorcycle, got hit by a car, were at the wrong place at the wrong time, or the wrong intersection. And me as an e-rider scooter, I'll be damned, I'll be the first one to tell you, riding on Pines Boulevard and crossing streets here, you're putting your life on the line because people do not stop nor yield for pedestrians, okay? They do not stop or yield for pedestrians, make right-hand turns. They blow through right-hand turns like it's going out of style. And people like me have to worry about not only the way I drive, I have to worry about the way drivers drive. And that's me as a senior citizen, responsible driver. I can't imagine a 12-year-old on a motor scooter going 60 miles an hour and thinking they're going to blow through an intersection and they're going to stop for them. They're not even going to be seen. By the time they're off that bike, they'll be hospitalized in a rehab center. And I'm saying that could be my kids, that could be your kids, that could be a grandchild, that could be anybody. So don't think it can't happen to you. I see it happen all the time, and I live this day in and day out. And again, folks, I'm not going to preach or lecture. I'm just supporting my Vice Mayor, Mike, for taking on this initiative because this is dangerous, and what's going on with these driving behaviors as far as doing wheelies in the middle of Pines Boulevard or Miramar Parkway like I saw the other day, which I took pictures and videos of, okay, should not be allowed. And especially with 12-year-olds or 11-year-olds. It shouldn't be allowed to anybody, but let alone people that are not mature-minded enough to know I shouldn't be doing a wheelie in the middle of Miramar Parkway when I got cars going 50 miles an hour. That's all I got. Thank you for your support.
Al,
I hope something comes out of this. I really hope so.
Al, as always, you are an inspiration to this city, and we're incredibly fortunate to have you as a citizen here, and we're really, really thankful for your testimony. Anyone else on this item? All right, so I made the suggestion to unify the Vice Mayor's motions under one item and
Then Commissioner Good had.
consistent with the two with the commentary that we've all had that's included in the motion. Are there any questions about the motion? Is that still seconded, Commissioner? Okay. Any further discussion on this? Any from the public? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And that item passes unanimously. And that concludes what we had today on the agenda. I do have one item on old business, if I might. And I thank you for your indulgence. This will not take long. So at our last city commission meeting, we had Mr. Robert Reiber, who is a resident of Pembroke Lakes on 106th and Taft, I understand, come forward and talk about a problem with trees. And a certain degree of urgency was expressed to deal with this right away. I found that request out of order, and I asked for the item to come back. It was not on the agenda. There's probably a good reason why it wasn't on the agenda. Nonetheless, I inquired the day after that commission meeting, and I had certain information that came to me from Assistant City Manager Mike Stamm. Apparently, we're already on this issue. So, Mr. Stamm, can you come forward, please, and tell us what we're doing with the trees on 106th and Taft? My understanding is that there was an ADA-related lawsuit, which also connects to some of the sidewalk work that we're trying to get done in Pembroke Lakes. Can you talk to us a little bit about what we're doing regarding Mr. Reiber's concern?
Mike Stamm, Assistant City Manager. Mayor, as I mentioned when we spoke, there was an ADA complaint that led to, Sam, correct my language, more of an agreement.
It was, if I may, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
There was a complaint filed. It was a publicly recognized document, public record. Bengio was the claimant and the complainant. It was before the Federal Highway Administration, and it was a complaint filed in connection with ADA access and things of that type, and result of which was there was no order per se, but there was a settlement of some sort that relates to the city's obligation of providing for a transition plan and for a safety plan going forward with regard to that issue and others that would be impacted by ADA requirements.
Okay.
So, Mayor, if I can, as I mentioned, Public Services, City Engineering's department's been working on this. I asked Carl to come join us. Carl can give you some more details.
Mr. Kennedy?
Good evening, Carl Kennedy, City Engineer. Yes, it was a letter of finding that we received from them, and they have field people who went into the neighborhood where the complaint was made, and they measured cross slope and the running slope of various sidewalks and determined if there were discontinuities between the flags, and there were, I think, like six streets that were identified in the letter where they mentioned the areas in front of specific homes which had issues with the sidewalk, either the running slope or the cross slope, and if there were discontinuities. And they made mention, excuse me, of trees that were uprooting the sidewalk and slopes of the sidewalk that were bad. They also made comments about cars parking in their driveways over the sidewalks, and so police has been going through the neighborhood and enforcing that. So there is.
So what work is to be expected to bring this community's assets back into shape?
So the areas that were identified in the letter of finding are the ones that we're working on first, which they said we had to address. So we are addressing those. We're removing the sidewalks and the trees, the offending trees, which are uprooting the sidewalks. And they had complaints of they weren't able to get through areas because the sidewalks were sloped in the wrong location, and they had to go through puddles. So. And
has that work begun, Mr.
It's being done right now. Any of the trees that have been removed that are needed have been done. So they're done with the tree removal, and any of the marks on the trees are not going to be removed.
So you're going to be fixing the sidewalks. You're going to be replanting trees there?
Yes.
Okay. And what is the timetable for the completion of this?
It should be completed within the next month or so.
Okay. So it seems like we have this under control. Mr. Stamm, you've been in touch with Mr. Reiber about where this is. Is he satisfied now that he's got the information that he needs?
Mike Stamis, the city manager. Mayor, I believe Mr. Bonilla and Mr. Hernandez met with Mr. Reiber on property. They went over the scope of the project, talked about the trees, talked about the replacement trees, and it's my understanding that he's in a better place right now.
Okay.
And for clarification, not this Mr. Hernandez.
Not that, our public services director.
Okay, well, those are the questions that I asked, and that's the information that I got. And I wanted to make sure that it was on the record. And if there's anything more that we have to do with respect to trees or sidewalks or anything else, it's an important thing for the safety of our residents and our community, particularly for the people who count on the Americans with Disabilities Act for physical justice in a community that they also live in. So, without anything further?
Yes, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Yes. New business, maybe, just
Yes.
momentarily. So I just want to bring to the attention. We all received an email from Mary Stevens, I believe, this week, right? And she made reference about some activity that's going to be taking place at the BIC, the BLC, the Broward County landfill that we have on our western edge.
Oh, yeah.
So have we found out anything about what they're doing?
I can tell you that as far back as maybe 4 or 5 months ago, I had a conversation with Beam Fur, who, as you know, is pretty much been the trash and recycling czar at the county, working in tandem with the Solid Waste Authority. That they wish to use BIC as a compost location for vegetation. That's only, tree clippings and that kind of thing. No putrefaction waste, no regular household garbage. They are currently also using it, as you know, for concrete and construction debris, wood, that kind of thing. And they're chopping that up and preparing it for reuse and so forth.
I believe, though, Senator, Nan Rich's office, I did speak with her chief of staff. This is apparently an unsolicited bid, if I'm not mistaken, for the composting facility.
It's non-solicited, and they can actually go out to bid. But Mr. Manager, can you tell us what you know about it, please?
I've been following it, and I believe there's something going to be on the agenda to discuss it. They haven't made a determination. There's a company who made an offer to the county, as what the mayor stated, for composting of vegetation. The county's going to have that discussion, I believe, in this week's agenda, and they have to decide whether they have to go out for proposals or if they can just award a contract, but it was only for that section.
Okay. I'm advised that the composting of vegetation, and you know this better, Commissioner Good, but from your own professional experience, my understanding is that it doesn't generate a great deal of smell or the kind of, nuisances that composting garbage would.
So if I may, Mr. Mayor,
Yeah.
so you're right, providing that it's done correctly. If it's, I believe many years ago, we tried to do a composting in the city, Mr. Manager,
The composting we did
right?
several years ago was municipal solid waste. It
Right.
wasn't just, that was
But
back
the-
in the
but-
early 90s.
Sure. And it was a process that failed, not necessarily
It
the
was
concept.
the-
It was the process that failed, right?
It created from municipal solid waste a Class A compost. The problem was the process that created an odor.
Okay, and all I'm going to say is that if we could just keep an eye on this, because even the county has recognized that this could create odors. And the reason why, it's because, just because it's not food scraps, it's a process where you call, it goes from air to no air, meaning it goes to anaerobic. When you have anaerobic conditions, it means that it starts smelling like an egg. And so these things, that what they're doing is they're putting them outside. They're not contained inside. And of course, too, there's a process that has to keep it nice and mixed. If you don't mix it, you don't get air in it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the point is, though, is just the county themselves in their letter, if you read their letter, very interesting is that they're not totally, going to do it yet, so to say. I mean, they're still going to vet it out, and I think that's a good opportunity for us to watch this process. I don't know how we can get involved in watching that process as they have these conversations and negotiations, because it is a negotiation. It isn't a done deal. They could still open it up and have other participants come in and say they want to do it. And even though they say it's green waste sometimes does include food scraps, but like fruit and vegetables type of stuff, not necessarily
Meat.
right? And meat's probably worse. But it's just something to still keep an eye on. It is still within, a plume, of, wherever the wind blows, and if it's.
How would we keep an eye on it? How, how would we go about this?
Well, just pay attention to what's being done, find out if there's any weaknesses, and if the weaknesses are being adopted as, hey, it's acceptable, then, and we need to ID if that is going to be acceptable and not for us. And if it's not acceptable to us, then we need to voice an opinion, because we've already missed an opportunity where they took the landfill and went from 100 feet to 300 feet. We have nothing on record that says, hey, we oppose that. At least here, if they want to move forward, and it's going to be a little bit offensive, but they're okay with it, but we're not. We want to be on record saying we're not okay with any offensiveness. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, Mr. Dodge, do you think you can get your arms around this thing?
I will follow to see what the county decides, but I think it's going to be, I don't think this is going to happen tomorrow.
No,
They're
it's
gonna
going to,
go
it's
through
on
a
the August,
process.
it's
It
on
could
the
be-
August.
Could be several months, but we will follow up with it. But they're doing this independently from the SWA.
No,
This is-
and that's a whole nother conversation, by the way. It's supposed to be the SWA, but it's not.
No.
Right.
So, but the point is, though, is August 20, which is this week, that's the agenda item, and just to pay attention to, if they accept it, then who's going to be taking it on under negotiations. Okay, thank you.
And when I know that you've been working on it, when do you anticipate bringing us a back to recycling plan?
I believe, is it next? Mark, is it next commission meeting we're going to be bringing the RFP to the commission? Excuse me?
No.
Yeah, for the resource.
Recycling.
Well, that's for that. The recycling, we have to sit and still negotiate with some haulers, if it's possible, and come up with a cost factor.
Okay.
Okay?
When do you feel you might be ready to present that to us?
Well, I know the one for the RFP that we're doing, I think will be next commission meeting.
So the one for the Resolve project,
Yes.
The conversation with the commission is that we could move forward with that item. We're still working on finalizing the design criteria package for that item.
Because one of the things that I'm thinking about is doing another, once we have a package, I'm thinking we should do a survey. I'm thinking we should go to residents and do a survey. We already started a process where we said, if you want to use your blue bin for extra garbage, it's an extra $2, blah, 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 blah. Maybe, we need to think of what different ways we do this. And so I think that we should probably go back out and survey people and say, we're ready to go back to recycling. This is how it's going to work. Are you in? This is what it's going to cost. And ask them.
You're going to tell them what it costs.
Yeah?
I agree.
Well, okay. Anything else? All right, this meeting's adjourned. Thank you very much.